And there we are. Hey everyone, this is Kobold Kingmaker episode 24, though I forgot to change it in Twitch actually. 1 second. No, not 324. And there. Alright, now that's updated. Alright, so yeah. Here we are, back in action with everybody here this time. So, without further ado, actually, one thing. I always like to announce this. I have a Patreon. It's above me right there on the screen. It has about 140 different maps that I've made over the course of the last 7 months for Kingmaker. So every single map that you see us running anything on here is going to be on that Patreon. Half of them are basically for free, so go and get them if you want to. Either way, let's get started. Who wants to do the recap this week?
I volunteer.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll do it for Gaz this time. I know you were kind of really wanted to do it, and that would have been hilarious. But we had recently just eavesdropped on a conversation in a cave where cultists of Lamashtu were talking about a weekly sermon that we held soon, and those cultists would all be expected to attend that sermon, hosted by someone named Daravan. And thus we reasoned that we would expect the entrance to be relatively unguarded while the sermon was happening. We decided we wanted to try to hear this sermon too, to hopefully gather information before we stopped the cultists. As expected, they gathered on the appointed date, and the entrance did appear to be unguarded. Thankfully, the group was observant and they spotted an arcane alarm. Parenth was easily able to dispel it. As we listened in, it seemed that the cultists were upset that settlers had been claiming these lands and driving out monstrous creatures, potentially denying Lamashtu's faithful the ability to control these lands as well. Daravan had referred to something called the Womb of Lamashtu somewhere further within the cave, and they sought to protect it. When we confronted them, 2 of the 6 worshippers with Daravan surrendered, but we had to fight him and the 4 others. It was a brutal battle. There was a lot of fire and some near-death incidents, but we were successful with no seriously lingering lasting effects like curses. Oh, never mind, we have a curse. Well, draft us.
It's
yeah, it's fun.
It's like not related to the fight itself, though, I think, isn't it?
Sort of not.
Kind of. Yeah. Daravan had a tent within the cave, which we learned was called the Cradle of Lamashtu. And the tent had a weird secret. When we pulled a red rope on the wall, it collapsed into a portable form. So now we have a tent we can carry with us. It's magical. And some writings that we found spoke of visions that Daravan had been given about a monstrous bloom ritual, which he enacted in here, that required some chimera, some creature to sort of act as the focal point of this thing. And there was a breach, and the bloom. We learned that if this bloom host would be destroyed, which is the chimera, the curse would be undone. And as we pondered this, we explored further. We found the ghost of a gnome in the cave. He attempted to heal this abyssal scar that was kind of how do we explain it? It kind of a little portal of the abyss, but also the first realm. But he had died in the process. He asked us to heal the scar by destroying Lamashtu's beast. Once completed, we could return to him and learn some rituals. So we headed to the far end of the cavern, knocked down a wall, and found the scar, a place full of plant life, with extraplanar sunlight shining down all around us. And the chimera leapt down to ground level to confront us, and we prepared for battle.
And you grew 2 sizes that day. No, the token wasn't actually the correct size. Now it is. So, as you guys face down this massive creature that seemingly, well, was a gift from Lamashtu herself to anchor this whole ritual, this whole curse into the land here from the extraplanar stuff, the scar that you can see sunlight through above you. And as all around you, these plants and fungi and all of this just sort of gets you as close as you've ever been to the first world, its dangers also follow it as well. So, I need everyone's initiatives.
As a note, I am scouting, and
Mm.
those who don't mark their +1 in their initiative roll, yeah,
Yeah, well,
make sure to include it.
That's one enemy. How hard could it be?
alright, so, with that, surprisingly, some of you are a little bit ahead of this creature. You were just well enough aware of its approach. We're gonna start then with Yarmos. What do you do here?
Yarmos will begin with a recall knowledge.
Mhm.
Is it a nature?
Oh, sorry, yes. It is Arcana or Nature, in fact.
Gotcha. Alright.
Alright, let's see here. You would be able to figure out that... Actually, not that much with this. It's seemingly a very unique variant of a chimera. One that you would have very much difficulty in sort of figuring out its true attributes. You're not able to tell.
Gotcha. In that case, Yarmos is gonna start with what's on bomb in hand. He's gonna lob it at the chimera.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat.
Bomb in hand, slinging it off 15. Actually does hit against it. As it bursts around it, roll the damage. Oh, it was
Wonderful.
4.
What's this?
So, as you get a good shot straight into the heads of each of them, they're going to take that 10 damage, but they're also going to be sickened. Actually, let me just check real quick, because they are resistant to poison.
To poison. Wonderful.
And
Great.
yeah, because they're resistant to it, they are not immune to it. They will be affected by the sicken condition, however.
Okay, wonderful. Hopefully they can't retch 3 times as fast. Yarmos is then gonna attempt a second recall knowledge before risking anything with an energy mutagen.
Sure. So, this time, you are able to tell at least one thing as you really think about this. What do you want to know?
Does it have any, any weaknesses?
Has no weaknesses.
Bummer. Alright.
Oh no.
Gotcha.
Most
That should be it
creatures
for...
generally don't have weaknesses unless they're like a specific type, like devils or demons or something like that. But
Gotcha.
otherwise, Giraffe, your turn.
Welp, no time like the present to stride up and double slice.
Okay.
I'm gonna go more for the centipede head. If there's any like, hey, if it takes X amount of slashing damage, it will.
There doesn't seem to be anything specific to that. All the heads whip around too much for you to try and focus any of them down. So it's a
Alright.
single creature.
I'm double slicing, by the way.
First slice. Unfortunately, you wouldn't have hit anyway, but also that sort of paranoia in the back of your mind, that curse of the Mash 2, is giving you trouble as well.
Pain.
Don't worry, we just need to level up. It will be fine.
And this, unfortunately, is going to be a miss because of that concealment. Because you're not able to tell exactly where it is.
You got away with it last time.
It didn't do that once last time. That's my turn.
Well, hey, it's coming back around. So,
This game is rigged.
on this Great Chimera's turn, as you're the only target it has in front of it... actually, no. First, it is going to start shaking, and you see this, like, snake's rattle on the end of its tail there. And as it does so, I need a will save from everyone within about 30 feet of it, so let's measure that. So it's going to be actually Kiba, and because it would originate from the corner of the creature, because emanations increase from creatures that are bigger, it would affect everyone except for Gaz.
Why is our frontliner in the back?
Well, he didn't want to get hit by the frighten effect, obviously.
I'm gonna reroll that.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what it does.
Alright, so,
I'm gonna save my hero point.
Yarmus, you do succeed. You're not frightened by it. Kiba, you exactly succeed with that hero point. You're not frightened by it either.
Thank
Parenth,
goodness.
you are. So, Parenth, you take 1 frightened condition. Start feeling a little bit threatened by that predatory sort of rattle. Giraffe here, you're frightened 2 because of a critical failure.
Oh joy.
And who does that leave? Nobody, because Gaz is outside of it. But as its last 2 actions, this creature will then rear up that, well, snake's head on the front as it sort of takes control here.
Anytime I gain the frighten condition, I reduce its value by 1. So that would be 1 instead of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Now, since players can do it, I can do it too.
Oh no.
Get this right online. Alright, so, as it
no.
unleashes this line of poison out from it, I need a fortitude save from everyone in that except for, of course, Parenth.
Excellent.
Very good roll from Giraffe, able to sort of absorb it as much as he can.
I've had enough poison today.
I
You're
will
almost
save
as
my
well.
hero point for later.
Okay, guys. That'll mean a critical failure. So, the damage of this will be this much poison typed damage. So 27. Luckily, lower roll. Guys, you take double that because of the crit failure.
Everyone else is a regular failure?
So, everyone... No, Yarmos and Giraffe, you succeed. So you take half damage. Kiba, unfortunately, is a regular failure, yes.
Alright. Sounds great.
And that will be its turn as it unleashed that rattle and poison upon you all. Guess.
Gas go out very much broadside of that poison, and he's not looking too good after that. Oh boy. Can we check up something? Yeah, he will start out his turn by patching up his own wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Unsurprisingly. Let me quickly just... Expert... wounds, blah blah blah, sure. There you go.
A little bit of treat wounds, patching yourself up for 17 there.
That's something. It's not optimal, but it's something. Okay, he is now into his battle medicine, and he's going to spend the second action of his turn to overdrive.
Okay.
Again, kicking his things into gear.
And you do with a critical success, as you're able to identify exactly what you need to do in a place like this, sort of adjustments, whatever needs to occur to get it going.
Excellent. Too bad I cannot do anything with that yet. But he isn't going to move up right about here.
Okay. Rushing up into the fray here, over to the corner of this beast. Now, we go to Parenth.
First of all, I'm going to do a recall knowledge.
Alright, Arcana or Nature? You, again, you're having the same problem as Yarmos. This is a unique one. You're not able to tell much about it.
Alright, well, we're going to take a guess, and I'm going to try to cast Fear on it.
Okay. Let's try to cast Fear. What's will save? There's a 19 on the dice. It is going to be a critical success as you try to overwhelm their minds with this Fear spell. No effect there.
That's all I've got.
Okay. So, Kiba, over to your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna move into range and slash with the glaive.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see how this goes. My flaming cold iron glaive slashes poorly. I reroll.
Okay. Going for another one. Needing to get things going, but
Sweet.
the heads are sort of slashing back towards you and able to deflect it fairly readily. So, I think that'll be 2 actions, actually. What's your third?
Second swing just to test the waters.
Testing, and yeah, it has a pretty tough defense of itself, so won't be hitting there. As your glaive is deflected, Yarmus, we go to your turn.
Yarmos clicks his tongue in annoyance, seeing that to do anything, he'll have to come up close as well.
Mhm.
But he does indeed do that, and he feeds an energy mutagen to Giraffe, a fire one.
Okay.
Fire.
As your blade sort of fill with that flame. Is that all, Yarmus?
Yarmos is gonna finish off by filling up his hands once more with his familiar's help. 2 elixirs of life this time.
Alright.
For his turn.
So, Giraffe, now better equipped. What do you do?
Let's hope I can hit with another double slice.
Alright.
What? Oh, right, frightened.
As you lash into it, again, you're having a tough time striking out.
Oh, come on.
Striking out against the Master's favorite beast is not working well for you.
I'm gonna use a hero point on the Bloodthirst.
Okay. Not allowing that to decide. We'll ignore the extra dazzle condition, but a 30. 30 will succeed on a hit. Roll the damage. So you're finally able to lash into it. It takes 16 damage from it, though it's just a small cut to a creature of its size. What do you do
So
as third?
ostensibly, yeah.
Oh yes, Venom as well. Rolls high enough to critically succeed with 18.
Wonderful. Love to see it.
Anything for your third, Giraffe?
I'm going to Twin Parry.
Alright, putting yourself in a more defensive position there. We're going to keep the line held for your allies. Now, back on its turn.
Do.
Let's see.
I don't like how you say that. You're like excited.
Well, it's going to focus all of its attention, all 3 heads, down in one strike against Giraffe here. So with this 3-headed strike. Oh wait, no, actually this is separated. Alright, so instead, it is going to move here, stepping in that direction, and then make a 3-headed strike. This one being at a -2 against each and every one of you, but with full maps. So first, the head that starts is the venomous fangs of that snake against Giraffe here. As it bites towards you, Giraffe, you are hit.
Redemption!
Okay.
Targeting Enfeeble.
Giraffe, you would take that 15. Roll your attack roll, Kiba. Or actually, no, you're not a paladin. I'm thinking of my other group. But Enfeebled is. Yeah, that's going to hurt it here. At least on its attack rolls. So
I can't wait to explode.
I was having trouble deciding if I wanted to do the Enfeeble or the Stupefy, but then when you were like, I'm gonna make 3 attacks against all of you, I'm like, oh, Enfeeble
Yeah.
it is.
that kind of thing. So, Giraffe, you also need to make a fortitude save against the venomous fangs.
I think Giraffe has the antidote as well.
I do.
Mhm.
Why
So
did that not?
they would.
So that's a 32.
Yeah. So 32 on that will be a success. You're not infested with that venom. Now we're going to go over to Gaz, where the vulture's beak is slicing down towards him. And as it lashes forth, it will hit. Gaz, you take a total of 19 damage, including some bleeding damage as it sort of rends into you with that sharp beak. Finally, Kiba, you are being attacked by the centipede's mandibles as they drip with this acid from them. You, however,
Lol.
are deft enough with your defenses that you're going to be missed, because it's too weak to strike through your guard. That'll be its turn. Gaz.
Well, Gaz is going to use his Lover's Knot, which he still has. So that's an action for 2d6 plus 7.
Mm-hmm. We're envisioning that healing harass that you got from Oleg's trading post of way back in the beginning.
He's sure going to thank Oleg for that in the future, once he comes back. If he comes back, probably. Anyway. he's
If we
going to
come
s-
back, that is, as well.
He's going to spend his next action to activate his Bracelet of Dashing and get some speed for this fight.
Okay. Speaking the command word, the runes along your armband sort of glow with a little bit of more wind at your back here.
And his final action will be to strike out.
Now, Overdriven charges up, making a strike here. Almost a natural 20, went to the 14, will still hit on a 14. As you batter into it, it'll take 18 points of damage. That flat damage from that overdrive is almost like a barbarian's.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have to do as much damage as Giraffe.
So, with that, that'll be your turn. Parith, over to you. Oh, and you do bleed there, Gaz. Hit the recovery check and take that damage. Parith.
I'm gonna try to recall knowledge one more time.
Okay. Just think hard about it. What do you want to know? As you roll quite well on that one.
What is its lowest save?
Its lowest save is its reflex. It's a big lumbering creature before you here.
And it's not mindless, so its lowest save is not will.
Alright.
It's simply.
I'm gonna put a bunch of grease under it.
Is this grease sort of like an oil spill coming out from the ground there? Sort of shoots up. It will fail its save, in fact. So, Johnny Grease.
Oh, they renamed Flat-Footed, that's right.
Creature that steps across. I always forget. Does this happen?
It knocks them down, so they become off guard.
When does it happen? Now or when it starts its turn or something like that? Each creature standing on the grid. I think it's now. I think it's now, yeah.
immediate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's thrown straight to the ground as it can't hold itself up. All those heads sort of giving it a poor center of gravity. So yeah.
All right. Those are all three of my actions. Get it while it's down, guys.
Kiba.
Beautiful. Just to clarify, is flanking the same bonus as off guard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
flanking provides off guard.
Nice. Okay. Well then, I'm gonna do 2 attacks and 1 heal on Gaz. Let's do the heal first.
Mm-hmm. Let me check some of
There
that
you
lay on
go.
hands first. As you're reaching over towards Gaz, you guys haven't triggered it yet, but they have an attack of opportunity within 5 feet. They don't have reach, it seems. So the vulture's
Oh, I love
beak
that.
tries to slice up at you, but actually I'm going to +2 to this because it shouldn't have the 3-headed strike. But still, even then, there are so many modifiers that it will miss because it's prone and enfeebled.
Oh, I dig that. Alright, I'm gonna try to go for a couple of strikes then.
Alright.
Oh man. Shellen, be with me, please.
There's a box under it, but you really can't see it very well.
Okay, gotcha. That hits easily enough. Slicing down towards
Like
you while it's
that?
in this position here. Takes another 12.
Okay, no extra damage from Cold Iron from the looks of it. Worth a
Doesn't
try.
seem so.
That's all I got, though.
But that will hit as well. Due in part because it's
Yes.
sickened and off guard. 24 more. As you guys start cleaving into it, now that it's finally in a bad spot, getting some headway here. Yarmos, your turn.
I was gonna continue the pity party on Gaz by feeding him an elixir of life.
Okay.
Slowly getting nursed back to health.
Oh, why did that
yeah,
affect
I
appear
approve.
on the...
It's
Don't worry.
because a lot of these effects have effect on target whenever they happen. So if he doesn't have Gaz targeted, it's going to go to the creature, but it's still healing for Gaz, of course.
Okay, good.
And then he's going to go ahead and also, he hasn't shoved enough liquids into Gaz's mouth. He's going to pull out a Drakeheart mutagen and also feed that to Gaz.
Okay. Alchemist. So, Dracard, moderate. Able to protect him maybe a
That's
little bit
right.
better there. That'll be you. Giraffe.
Alrighty, I'm gonna. My fear effect is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go for a double slice.
Misses by 1, unfortunately.
Oh. Going for another attack then.
Desperately throws up sort of one of its wings to defend against the strike. This one, you are distracted once again by those predatory visions at the corner of your eyes.
And then, well, it's down, and since it already used its opportunity attack, assuming it has one, we all know it doesn't, I'm going to stride.
One of the other heads takes an attack opportunity.
Yeah, I expected as much.
The centipede's mandibles strike out for you. And this one will hit, despite them being on the floor and enfeebled.
I'm gonna bump that one.
Mm-hmm.
Continue the enfeeble.
Keep drawing on this sort of want for redemption in this creature. The goodness it could have had is a little bit weakened by the prospect of continuing fighting. Getting around the side there.
There's 25 feet, so that when it gets up, there actually is a flank.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my turn.
Now, going on to its turn, it's going to come to a stand.
I believe standing in the grease will force it to do another reflex save.
I do want to change that because I don't think it's standing up in the grease. It's moving into the grease, or
Yeah, it's moving
that.
into the grease for sure.
Mhm.
I had to look this up earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, like for a different game entirely, but I
Hmm.
looked it up in recent memory.
But
So you say you're standing up, huh?
it's standing up, yeah.
Wow.
Opportunity attack.
Go for it. That will miss, unfortunately. As it comes to a stand, though, it's still flanked. It gave you the opportunity to flank it. It's going to start moving, striding, and because it is... Okay, the square can't be in the center here.
I couldn't see the edges because it was
Sorry,
there.
yeah.
So
Would it be like that, so to say?
yeah, sure.
Okay. So, because any stride would still have some part of it still in it, it's going to make a reflex save as it goes in this direction, however. This is a big creature. It's going to hit a lot of it, but this time it will succeed as it continues this stride around to sort of get away from the group. And then final action, it will strike out towards Giraffe, just with one head. These guys have removed a lot of its opportunities here for other actions here. The Vulture's Beak slices out with a 19, a
Oh.
critical success against Giraffe.
Oh no.
Oh.
As it snaps towards you, you're sort of like thrown back right into the tree there. And where it sort of basically pierced into you, you're bleeding profusely. So 46 plus, that's 2 times 1d8 bleeding. Which will be coming around at the end of your turn.
Ow.
Gaz, yours.
At least it was hitting you with that, not us.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
Watch out for the
think-
grease.
Yep.
Gonna invest in
Gaz
Pathfinder.
is going to gently step around to join Giraffe again, and well, do a spot of battle medicine. After seeing that thing go down.
Sure as medicine, 20 healing to Giraffe. Try to patch up a little bit of those wounds, but they still bleed through the bandages you apply.
That's a 2d8. That's like 2 times 1d8 damage every turn, right? Or is it like just still 1d8?
It's 2 times 1d8.
Okay. Gaz will spend his last action on trying to stem the bleeding. That's a medicine check,
Mhm.
right?
That is for condition persistent damage.
Yes.
That's just a single action to reduce its DC to 10 to stop it. Otherwise, bleeding can be removed by healing someone to full HP.
That's not gonna happen.
Nope.
I think you can. I'll give you one try to walk it off. I'll help you next turn. I'll strike out for now.
Alright. Don't have to heal if it's dead. 8 on the dice, though. Won't hit it.
Reroll.
Okay. Getting used to those hero points, trying to use them where it
Nope.
counts, but not here. So, Parenth, we go to you.
Alright. Grant is going to strike. If I have the right tool corrected selected.
Guys, make sure you take the bleed and roll a recovery.
Yep.
Parent is going to try to cast Hideous Laughter on it.
Okay, so as this enchanting laughter hits it, it unfortunately will succeed. However, let's see. Well, I'm gonna roll this lore myself, but technically, if it succeeds, I can't try to re-roll it with another head, as it sort of tries to put the burden of this enchanting effect onto one of the other heads, even though they're all sort of sharing the same nervous system, that's sharing the same brain. They're not able to. It's not as deep to just throw it onto some other head of its. So it is affected by the at least success effect, I should say. And it can't take reactions, which is terrible for a beast like this.
Alright, that's all 3.
Kiba, we get to you.
I'm gonna try to move into a better position.
On the corner, close range.
Okay, I'm still in range of Giraffe and Parents, and potentially can set up a flank in the future if things go our way. And I will strike from here.
Okay. As you slice towards it, this will miss by 1, unfortunately. It just barely brings up a beak to sort of snap into your glaive before you pull it away.
My chances are still pretty good. I'll go with a second strike.
Mm-hmm. Second one will also
Not good
miss.
enough.
I think that'll be you.
And that's it then.
Yarmus, your turn.
Right, Yarmos is going to approach around the side here. That should be in. Should have that
Mm-hmm.
easily. And he's going to pull out another energy mutagen and feed that to Kiba.
Alright.
They're all fire this time, so
Okay.
yeah, not
Flames
sure.
lick
not
up
sure
the
where to find
side
the,
of the glaive.
That should be good for Yarmos' turn though.
Did you
Really
say
working
fire?
Yeah, fire.
Fire indeed.
Just
That's it for
activate
Yarmos' turn. He's just been cocktail mixing this entire fight.
that. Okay.
Alrighty.
Giraffe.
Since it doesn't have any reactions, I'm going to stride 10 feet this way
Okay.
and 15 feet this way. Give Kiba a flank, and yeah. And then I'm going to try a double slice.
Alright, rushing around the side, knowing it's distracted as this strange cackling comes from its maws. It will be hit. Roll the damage.
This is the Kopesh, I believe it has a poison.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
So it takes that 18 total. Maybe poisoned. Let's see. 9 on the dice, they still will succeed on that.
Yeah. Right, Kiba's glaive
And
also
for my
have poison.
second attack.
So another fortitude save with the same poison
Yeah.
effect?
Uh,
Okay,
Yeah, apologies.
no problem.
Good grief.
It will critically succeed. That giraffe,
Yep, of
course.
unfortunately, the Master's Curse has been giving you some trouble here.
Yeah, it didn't come up at all last session.
Back with a vengeance.
So giraffe, you take that 12 total bleed damage now and roll your recovery check as well. Back around to it. it is going to take a step here and make a 3-headed strike against those 3 that are in 5 feet of it. So first, the snake's head goes towards Gaz. Fangs dripping with this venom, they will critically strike you, Gaz. So, they will deal a total of 44 points of damage. Good that you've been healed a lot by your allies, because you wouldn't be standing without it. Roll me a fortitude save as well. This, though, you succeed. You're able to make sure that those wounds are closed before, or you pull away from its fangs before they can spread that venom too much. Now, Giraffe, you're being hit by, let's say, the centipede's heads.
Oh boy. I sure do love centipedes.
Mandibles
Ugh.
bite towards you, just barely
Come
hitting.
on.
You will take 28 points of damage there. And finally, the last attack will be
Why
from...
did that do 33?
Because
You
you
have
are weak
weakness.
to acid from using the fire... thing
Oh.
What? Centipede has acid damage
there. Yeah,
and not poison?
it's acid. Unfortunately, you guys haven't really taken that to account, but, well, it's 5 extra damage. She'll survive. Now, the Vulture's Beak goes towards Kiba, and will mace Kiba. So Kiba's able to deflect it once more. That's his turn. Gaz.
I'm protecting the party.
Gaz is unfortunately not able to help Giraffe all that much anymore, given that he spent all of his healing already. He is just going to put some distance between him and this beast, and keep laying into it.
Alright. Natural 1.
Wow.
Sort of stumble over some of the roots and vines in this back corner here.
I'm going to take a second strike, may as well.
Second doesn't miss as well, or doesn't hit as well.
That's my turn.
Not your best day. But, Parent, going over to you.
Does that bleeding take Gaz down?
No.
Not
Okay.
yet.
It might on the next turn.
Parent.
I'm thinking this is difficult. Okay, I'm gonna try something new.
Enervation. Okay, you're targeting its fortitude save.
Oh, why?
There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
all this time.
4 on the dice, and because it
Oh!
is still sickened, it has not bothered to try to get rid of that,
Oh.
or has not had the action economy. That's a failure. As this black beam of enervation, this negative energy streaks out, it takes the failure effect. 4d8 persistent negative damage to it. Hit the damage button for me there. Because that, I think, will allow me to just hit it onto it. Yes. So, 4d8, and it is drained 1. Reducing max HP and current HP by a pretty good amount there. It's looking rough after
Big
that.
fun mod.
And I'm using my third action to sustain the hideous laughter.
Alright, so, Kiba, going over to you.
Cool. Gaz, you got reach?
I have.
Alright. Dip. And I'll have to make some strikes from here.
Mm-hmm. Getting into a flank here.
See how this goes.
Its body's sort of like showing this strange age to it as the life force is getting sucked away from it. This will be a hit.
Finally.
So lash into it for pretty good damage. Solid strike there.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I'll keep that up.
Another strike. And
No good.
that one won't be any good. So, with that, we're gonna go to Yarmos.
Alright, well, Yarmos, that's not the right button. Yarmos Yarmos puffs as he hurries his way past the creature nervously. But it has to be done. Just right through its size spaces to the other side of Giraffe. Then feeds Giraffe an elixir of life.
Okay. Trying to keep Giraffe in the fight here. And a good 21 healing. It's Giraffe.
Then his familiar snakes around his body and it places the last 2 elixirs of life in his inventory into his hands. That's it for Yarmos' turn.
Alright,
Thanks.
Giraffe. You're up.
Alrighty. Looking at this, I'm going to step down to get that flank.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to double slice.
Best spot, best opportunity you have.
Hope
Let's see.
this works. Oh my goodness, my microphone has been plugged in. So I've just been using the bad one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just waiting for you to crit. Please do it. I'm back.
Watch, I'm gonna get a nat 20, but fail the.
Yeah,
Smash too.
yeah,
That's
that'll
one.
happen.
5 and a 4. Won't hit either way.
Nope.
But then this time, thank goodness.
A bit distracted, trying to strike out with Bloodthirst here. Natural 20 was on the concealment check, not the attack roll, so you hit.
Darn it.
We'll take what we can get.
Alrighty, damage.
Let's make this flurry of attacks. At least one of them was going to get in here. Another 18. It's looking very badly injured at this point. A lot of these cuts, scars, other things giving it a lot of trouble here. So, yeah. We go to its turn.
That's my turn.
Now, on its turn, it will take a step here once more. And, well, yeah, you guys have been surrounding it here. It's still going to try to use its 3-headed strikes here. Starting with Yarmos, actually, with a Vulture's Beak.
Uh-oh.
Well, that'll be a crit easily enough. As you are struck, you take 46 points of damage plus that bleeding at the end of your turn.
Love to see it.
You're fine. You're fine.
Bad spot for you. Everyone's feeling the heat at this point. The snake's fangs go towards Giraffe here. Nobody's actually been poisoned by this effect. Let's see if this will change it.
Redemption.
You call out, giving a little bit of pause to the creature.
Still enfeeble.
And yes, Enfeeble will stay. I do need, however, a Fortitude save Giraffe for that poison of the snake's fangs.
Tired of this chimera.
You, this time, because you are drained, will not be able to resist the venom of this creature. You take another 2d6 poison damage, so 6 total, and you are enfeebled to 1, as well. As it courses through you, it sort of makes you weaker.
That could have been worse.
Now finally, the centipede strikes out towards Kiba. On my screen, it's like sitting on between 2 and a natural 20. I'll trust the
course.
2. So, man, I was like, oh, hey, a natural 20. Oh, wait, no. It doesn't. Yeah, it's like sitting on an edge. You are missed, Kiba. Just able to easily deflect it. Perhaps only by chance there. So, Gaz, let's go over to you actually
By
first.
chance or by faith?
Perhaps. Just going to try to resist the negative energy, and unfortunately it does roll a 16.
Of course.
But it's still drained for this fight. Yes.
Well, nothing better to do than lay into it and hope that Jarmus makes his way over so he can get patched up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, strike.
Neither the dice misses by 1, even with the flank, and it's sickened.
It's very unfortunate. I'm going to do this. I will use my Megavolt and do it unstable while I'm at it.
Okay. Charging this up. Gonna roll its reflex. Just got a poor reflex here.
Obviously placed in a way where it doesn't.
Yeah, between your allies. As it sort of careens out, it will be able to sort of duck away from most of it, but not all of it because it's sickened, so half damage.
D12. Let's go.
Alright, takes half of that. Hard for it to resist. A little bit more damage there. I do need a unstable check from you.
Indeed.
just enough not to be taking some backblast from that electricity. Get it sort of handled before the end of your turn here. You do bleed a little bit more. So you're starting to fade. You're having a hard time staying upright. Parenth, we go to you.
Okay. I'm using an action to sustain the hideous laughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take another gamble. I know it's almost dead, but
Slow. Okay. So you continue to hold that enchantment across their minds. You're not able to gather up the energy to slow it down this time. It's able to critically succeed.
I tried.
So with that, you've done some important stuff so far. Still have. Kiba, we go to your turn then.
Mm-hmm. Dang. And there's a tree between me and Gaz.
Directly no, but yeah, to actually walk to him, you could do a corner to corner here. So you won't like hit the grease, but yeah, you would have to walk that way.
Walk this way.
I've got 2 elixirs of life with his name on it, if you're thinking of that.
Shall we
You
left?
do that, I'll heal you, and I'll still get my strike in.
So you guys support each other, working as a team. Lay on hands. To Yarmos now, you are unthreatened while using Lay on Hands, because of course of that hideous
Thank
laughter.
goodness.
Wonderful.
Such a simple little first level spell that really destroys boss creatures.
This is a second level spell.
Oh, second level there.
Okay, now I get a single strike, but
Thank you,
still
Kasha.
flanked. I wasn't really expecting much from my second strike, so just, yeah.
See what we can do. Not here though. Even if you do have the flank, you are focused more on helping your allies there.
Yeah.
Yarmos.
Alright. Are these bushes like difficult terrain?
By
By the way?
we'll say no.
Gotcha. Going. And this is like not just wall, right?
Yeah, as long as you can move the token, you're good.
Yeah. Alright, gotcha. It's 20 feet of movement. And then
You know, it might be better to save one of those elixirs for in case Drav goes down, because he's looking a bit woozy over there.
I'm carrying a potion on me.
Well, that solves that.
Jamus comes here then. Yep, as promised. And that's 2 elixirs of life for Gaz.
Mm-hmm. Hand them both over. Get them to chuck them down. Let's see. 14 there.
Hope it's gone from my inventory. Whoops.
Here, let's just roll like this. So, that will be, yeah, 23. So, yes, take that. Just make sure to remove the last one from your inventory arms. Now,
Gotcha.
Giraffe. Feeling the heat,
All
but
right.
in the right spot. What do you do?
I'm in the right spot for a flank, so I'm going to double slice. Hopefully I get in some good hits.
No, ready?
Oh, was I enfeebled by that strike?
You, actually, yes, you were. Yeah, it's on you. Mm-hmm. You're enfeebled.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the poison. Snake's fangs got into you there. But even while so, you exactly critically succeed with that 36. Because it's still sickened and still off guard. As
Oh
you
my gosh.
cleave into it.
Oh my
with the monolith,
goodness!
Oh, there we go.
you carve in under the heads and slice at the throat that keeps them all sort of up. And that's enough to kill the whole thing.
Oh my goodness!
Wonderful.
However, as you are about to celebrate, bursting from the seams of this creature is something else, something from its insides.
Of course.
Phase 2.
A bigger chimera! No.
Strangely, as if poking its way out on these sharp, like, very firm petals, is the bloom of Lamashtu itself. It wasn't
Can I
proverbial, it
follow
was a
up?
literal bloom.
Can I follow up with the bloodthirst?
Not with a dual slice, no.
Darn. It's like, oh, it's popping out of the corpse.
And as it arrives, there is this just riot of seething vegetation and raw life that careens out from it, healing everybody for a total of 37 HP here.
Oh,
Okay.
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 I'm not gonna complain with that.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
We take
raw,
those.
fey life as this plant blooms from the creature's corpse.
Today's
And-
equivalent of Tristian showing up.
Oops, actually, it doesn't need to roll that. That's so it's not
Can't
that.
wait to
It's
get fit and
actually
immediately lose that.
it, but
Do we have to kill it? Do we have to?
it doesn't look friendly, and it looks like it is the source, the real source of what you are trying to fight down here. So, Giraffe,
How does the flower look unfriendly?
you've
Well, I
been
was-
told that the bloom of Lamashtu is the source of the curse on your kingdom.
Well, it's next, so I am going to parry.
Since it will not be taking its turn next.
Oh.
It has to have a full round has to pass before it can actually take its turn.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna make an attack with the bloodthirst.
Mhm.
Map -8, I assume.
Yep. To slice out towards it, you find that it's surprisingly tough to slice into. No dice there.
Alrighty.
So I'm gonna remove Mr. Chimera from the initiative. We're gonna go past it because it's still sort of like holding itself out and preparing itself. But, Gaz, we go to you.
Yep, he is going to take a closer step and start laying into this weird flower.
Mm-hmm. As you punch towards it, you exactly hit it. Not as hard to hit as Chimera. And as you pummel into it, it does seem to take extra damage from being crushed by your pummeling strikes. It is weak to that bludgeoning damage, in fact.
Is it weak to cold iron as well?
It is not weak to cold iron as well, though.
That is unfortunate. But
Trace is the first roll grenade in my ass.
he is going to do a second strike.
If you're wondering, this plant has the Fiend trait, and it is a chaotic evil plant. So,
That is some very evil plant healing everyone around it.
that'll miss though, guys.
Yeah.
Second strike. Parent, going to you now.
I know this is probably a unique creature, but I'm gonna do recall knowledge on it.
Nature or religion? So to the extraplanar crux of this corrupted, like scar in the planar structure here. With that, what one thing do you want to know about it?
Lowest save.
Slowest save is its reflex. It's plant.
Okay. For his remaining actions, he's going to be casting Haste on Giraffe.
All right.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of extra energy brims through Giraffe. So, I'm going to Kiba.
Make sure to drag that to yourself, because okay, you're
I did.
All right, I'm basically already in position. I've got a flaming glaive that has fire on it. Let's see if slashing it with a flaming blade does the trick at all.
It's the flaming fire glaive. Extra
Flaming
flame on
fire!
it. We heard you like flame, so we put flame on your flame. That'll be a hit. Roll damage. Yeah, it does stack. So, 1d6,
Great, because
1d4.
that's literally what
17.
happened.
It takes much less than you might have expected, in fact.
Wow, I hate this.
As it is slashed into, it seems as though it's much harder to slash into this thing than it is to pierce it or bludgeon it. It's a strange sort of hard surface. It's like if you've ever picked up one of those green stems of a plant in the grass, right? And you poke your fingernail through it. It's pretty easy to poke through, but it's hard to like slash through, strangely enough.
This is very, very rapidly convincing me to go back to the shifting weapons.
Oh, and
Holy smokes.
some acid bursts out from it as you try to slice in, or do slice in with that. So I need a reflex save as well.
You got a reflex. Actually, it's my worst save, but you know. Yeah, I'm good at
28.
reflex.
That's a success. You're going to take half damage of this acid
Whoop.
as it bursts out from it. From that wound you
96.
caused. It's sort of like slashing into a tube that has pressurized sort of acid in it. It just slices, bursts out from it.
So, take note that happened to an adjacent creature. I don't know if that's going to matter for anybody, but...
I mean, it didn't happen to gas, so probably that's relevant.
Yeah.
Because he used bludgeoning damage, I think. is
Yeah, it
the
seemed
implication.
like just by the way you slashed into it, it's only by slashing that this occurs.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that was one action.
Well,
Oh, sorry, Kiba. Go ahead with your
I know
random
what I'm gonna do.
All right. I don't know if I really have a whole lot else to do right now, so crit fishing time.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for the muted gens,
Yeah.
Oh, miss there.
Wait a minute. How do you do that aiding somebody thing?
So all you do is declare that you're aiding Giraffe on his next attack against this creature, and then when they make their attack, you make your attack. And the DC is
Beautiful.
always 20 because you learn more about teamwork with the team.
That seems like the ideal use for my third action this turn.
It is.
Thanks.
Yarmus.
It's your almost turn to do the recall knowledge. Ceremonial and recall knowledge. Nature or
Or a religion.
a religion. Gotcha, sorry.
You, unfortunately, aren't able to tell that much about it. It is still a very unique creature. Not,
Wonderful.
not sure.
Well, hopefully it is more weak to poisons and stuff than the other thing. Your Orbis is going to get his familiar to draw 2 skunk bombs for him, and he's gonna lob the first one at this flower.
Mm-hmm. Some insecticide, or rather pesticide, or rather just killing the plant side. That will certainly hit. Roll the
That's nice.
damage.
Well,
It does. It does take the poison. And you can certainly make plants sickly, so it's going to roll a fortitude. Which it still succeeds.
Oh,
Good one.
Its fortitude
one, yeah.
seems to be its highest save, as has been usual.
go figure.
But it's still
Well, it's still
Second one.
second.
yeah.
That's where Yarmus' turn.
It becomes a little bit more yellowed by the poison. Giraffe, yours.
Well, this isn't good. I'm going to drop my Mombele and take out my shield.
Mhm.
There we go. And that's one action. So then I'm going to do a double slice with the shield and the bloodthirst.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
Definitely
about the.
Aiding the shield one, for sure.
Okay. Go for the strike.
Why is it called double
Let me
slice
get
when the
my,
shield is
attack.
not spicy?
Yeah, you both can roll your stuff anyway. We'll just add +1 if applicable for the aid check there. Which
20.
Kiba will be applicable, so an extra +1 won't change anything. It will be still a hit. So damage from the shield bash as you sort of pummel into it with the end of the shield. Yeah, I mean, it hurts a lot more from that.
I know it deals acid damage. I couldn't find a bladed weapon that could deal bludgeoning, because the bloodthirst says, "Oh yeah, you could change into other weapon types as long as it's a bladed weapon."
As long as it's a
You-
bladed weapon, because it's bloodthirst.
Doesn't your parrying dagger have piercing damage?
It does, but I'm not gonna give up a crit.
No, alright, so as you cleave into it, yeah, it'll take that 42, a little bit less because.
Did you click that for me?
Oh, whoops. Sometimes sorry. Do you want to take that 42? I will allow you to reroll if you want to, but I don't think you do because of my roll there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good roll.
My apologies. Sometimes I just get ahead of myself and forget.
Yeah. Oh, I understand. Fortitude save, right?
No, it's a reaction that it takes to do that. It already was triggered by Kiba.
Oh, so it already used it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh.
So I have one more attack because of quickened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a map attack with my bloodthirst.
Alrighty. Quick
That
third
implies that
strike.
it's like consciously making acid splurt out its roots or stuff.
Implication, but may not be factuality. But as you did slice into it, a couple of you with flames, even though it didn't do extra damage, it seems to burn enough that it prevents any regeneration, any attempts to regrow the stuff that you've sliced from
Oh.
it.
I feel good about that at least.
So the
Green
fire is
chest.
doing.
That
Now,
was me.
on its turn, it's a little bit slow as it sort of came out from the corpse as if trying to sort of fold itself out into full bloom here. But we'll see if it can still do something with 2 actions here. Oh yeah, certainly. As it gets up to its full height, it then sort of like turns that head of the plant downwards onto the ground and shoots out a seed pod that explodes. Hitting, I think I can hit everyone. Let me see. Yeah, it's going to go for Parent instead here, we'll say. So, everyone in this AoE
Rude.
needs to make a reflex save. As this supernatural acidic poison bursts out from it.
Remember hero points.
Oh, and it'll make its own save as well.
Is it the circle?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so it's you.
Okay,
Kiba.
it was kind of hard to see it.
Yeah.
Reflex.
So.
I'm gonna
Very
re-roll
nice.
that
Okay.
because it's a hero point time.
Just about, yeah.
Meh.
20
Pro-
will save
probably
you
not
from
a
a
crit fail.
critical fail, yeah. So, for the purpose of it, those who failed take this damage, and it is different for each person. So it's only who failed takes these damages. You don't take half, you don't take... It will get to you after we get from the regular people. So Kiba, you take the 8 and 17, and Gaz, you do not. Giraffe takes the 8 and 17 as well. Now for those who succeeded, it rolls a different set of dice. I know it's strange, it's not a basic save. It is different sets of dice for each of the tiers of damage here. It's 12
That's
and
not
10
nice.
for Gaz, and I believe anybody else who succeeded. I don't think so. Actually, Parent, you take that first damage as well. You failed. And the only person who then I have left is... Actually, did we do
Yeah,
everyone here?
Out of range.
Yeah, your armor is just out of range.
Yeah, okay, we're good. So, with that, burst into everyone there. You were able to avoid at least a critical failure on that. And it itself rolled a critical failure. It is seemingly immune to the acid, but not the poison part of this. So it'll take double. Or actually, it'll take this d10, or 10d6 rather. I was hoping it was going to do better than that, but it didn't. So it took the crit fail, exactly.
This. Okay, don't let Corvos play a wizard in your games. He'll get fire resistance and fireball himself.
Yeah.
That sounds like a valid strategy.
It's one of the best
It
abilities.
sounds like something Corvos would do.
And it wants to try to hit everyone with this to... I mean, it brought you guys down pretty low. So, that'll be its turn. Now it does roll DC 11 flat check to see if it gets rid of this slow. It does, so it'll be at full power. Guess.
I don't like it being at full power. At least it just annihilated itself, so I can lay into it.
A success on a hit. To batter into it, it will take 15, or rather 25, as it's weak to that bludgeoning, crushing damage.
Well, may as well go for the kill. Mapped.
One more go. This one won't hit, though.
I saw it spin around that
I
20.
want to. Yeah, I know. I will hero point that.
Just twist away from the strike. Let's see if you can try and hit it this time. 26.
Hey.
Does hit. Just batter
I wonder
into
how
it
many
once
fewer hero
more.
points we would spend if it weren't for the dice graphic.
It is barely holding on. Its petals are falling away. It's sort of wilting and crumpling.
I have a further action.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go crit fishing.
Will not hit there. Take that 8
Oh.
bleeding. Roll the recovery. Parent, your turn.
I'm so glad he learned of me. Learned from me.
That bleed is going to stick with me until the end of the campaign.
I'm using a 3-action magic missile.
All right. Roll the damages.
Classic.
Sling these off. Very good rolls there. 5, 5, and 3.
2 at max damage.
It's still holding on after
Oh
being
my
battered by
gosh.
those. More parts of it are sort of being thrown back, petals falling, fronds, but it's still up. Let's see if you guys can finish it off. Kiba.
I do a quick hop out of range and bring my glaive, my flaming glaive, down upon this thing, trying
Mhm.
to cut off its stalk.
You mean your flaming glaive?
My flaming glaive.
2 on the dice.
I make a second strike of far more. That was the warm-up strike. Here is the actual warm-up strike to praise Shellen.
You're looking at this and you're like, this is the first time I've fought a plant, a flower even. Is this heretical? But anyway, that will be a miss.
I think it's fine given that we know its nature.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just joking.
Yeah, but I thought about it.
The gods.
Yarmo still has.
Yeah.
Yarmo still has another skunk bomb in his hands. See if he can't do it.
See if the poison will. So you sling this off. That will hit. You've been hitting these. Blast into it for another 9. It's already sickened, but let's see if it can actually get slowed as well. Yeah, it's still going to be just sickened.
Wonderful.
And it
He's going
barely-
to.
Sorry, go.
Yeah, he's going to. Well, he's really hoping. He's going to go ahead and pull out his hand crossbow now and prepare an action to aid Giraffe at
Mm-hmm.
hopefully landing the finishing blow.
All right.
Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and double slice.
Mhm.
First with the shield.
Try not to get complete. Oh, yeah, you're shielding. You're fine.
Bashing in, though, once again, the curse
No, you're not.
causes some issues.
Bloodthirst.
And here comes the aid.
And this, though,
Here comes the nat 20 on the check.
that's a critical success on the
I'm gonna
aid,
click it.
adding +2, though it is, yes, critical either way. As you cleave into this one last time, well, can't use the reaction if it's dead. As you slice in, you slice this top from the rest of the body. As the rest of the body wilts away, the fronds of the plant itself, the flower, I should say, sort of fall to the ground and sort of curl up. Before, seemingly by magic, it all just goes gray and falls into dust. As the power of this sort of rift is no longer enough to keep this alive. It just turns to dust. And that feels like that.
Woo!
Oh, please, let that be over. Let that be the end.
Can we say crisis averted now?
Feels a little dimmer in here.
There's a feeling that rushes through all of you. As if anyone who were to be cursed, with those little seedlings within their bodies, carried on the waters in your kingdom that you've been searching for the source of for so very long, you feel as though this connective tissue, this flower, this bloom of Lamashtu, was what was allowing those portals to occur from those seedlings. With it dead, you surmise that it's all inert, it's all harmless anymore. There will be no more of those bursts of creatures from people's bodies. No longer will people have to fear what they drink or eat. You feel relieved with the knowledge that, yeah, this feels like you've done it. This feels like it's over.
What a
You know-
nightmare.
No, I strangely feel like outlawing guidance once we're back.
I will not allow that.
Well, that was quite the terrifying 1 week pandemic.
It
You
could
know,
have
I
been.
just- That's not the time.
It could have been a lot worse. It could have happened to one of us, even.
It's possible it already had. It just hadn't had time to fully bloom.
You guys rushed. You guys dealt with this very quickly. And fortuitously enough, you were in the right spot to start your investigation.
Oh, well, imagine if we skipped the hunting lodge stuff and
Everybody's just dead.
I'm gonna cry now.
We should go talk to that ghost that we saw earlier.
That's right. While he's
Yeah.
still tenuously clinging on to his existence. I'm sure he's ready for a rest.
As you guys make for the exit here, you see projected out is that ghostly figure.
Oh, that was just quick.
I'm using my remaining power. My form is no longer kept to my corpse, as I am ready to leave this plane. I felt what you've done. I felt the curse be lifted from your lands, and I have felt that the breach scar and its corruption was finally brought low. With that bloom destroyed, you have ensured that the natural order of things can return to this cave once more. It will forever be a scar between your world and the first world, though over time it will become less and less apparent. Only those looking to open it once more would sense it and would come here to open it up again. Otherwise, these caves will be normal caves over the course of a few years. You should not fear. It will be safe enough. Thank you again.
Thank goodness that we dealt with this.
may rest easy now.
Now I go to Pharasma. To seal my fate, finally. To rest my weary spirit. But before I go, he sort of shifts forward, and as he passes through each of you, a remnant of his knowledge remains behind before he just disappears. So, granted to each of you are these 3 rituals: Awaken Animal, Commune with Nature, and Primal Call. You can put rituals on your spell page. Anybody can, actually, because they're not specific to a spellcasting type.
Can we all put them on, or
Yeah.
just one person?
All
Oh,
of
okay,
them.
cool. Ooh, we should figure out how to do that.
Yeah, if you just look them up with Control Space, you can just drag them onto your spellcasting page. So as you guys are all adding those, you understand that these are some pretty powerful rituals, all of them of 6th level. You may not be able to cast them now, but certainly in the near future. Once you get to that level, which would be level 11, to be able to cast...
Let's awaken Norbert.
would be an option. To awaken any beast, or even just call any beast or fae with that primal call. It's actually a pretty powerful effect with the primal call. This is not from another plane, it's from a 100-mile radius around you.
Takes a day to cast.
Most rituals take a long time to cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Final thing, give yourselves 240 experience points for those 2 encounters back to back.
1,020, I think.
Yeah. Alright.
That matches my list.
Before we go on, is there anything else in this room of note or interest besides the scar?
Not exactly, no. It seems to be filled still with these abyssal, tainted, but mostly fey plants that are going to wilt over time as the connection weakens and weakens.
Well, I guess we can go back home.
Hmm.
We should stop by the Hunter Lodge first, actually.
Another good news, eh?
May you guys leave the womb of Lamashtu behind. Go back to the Stolen Lands proper. Though you did arrive at midnight, you would probably need to rest. Or at least you entered at midnight, and normally you guys do rest during the night, so you can also do a rest here.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great idea.
I'm gonna play with the bloodthirst, and I'm gonna turn it into a mambale rather than a hatchet.
Alrighty.
Can it not be turned into a weapon with versatile slashing / piercing?
It has to be a bladed weapon.
Yeah, but like there's bladed
And-
weapons with a versatile piercing.
I want an axe because that's what my specialization is,
That's fair.
and I don't think any of them have versatile. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. Yeah, there aren't any.
So, with that all being said, you guys rest and recover in the caves here. Safe enough. You guys have plenty of time to heal up to full as well. And a new day arises. As you can see, sort of out from this cave, directly to... well, actually, you would see sort of the mountains, the Tors of Lemnes, casting this shadow over the lands here as the sun rises to the east behind them. Casting a shadow over the entire domain that is your own. You can claim as your own. Now, especially as you protected it from its first true kingdom-scale threat. You're not sure if that's going to be the last, though.
I still feel like all these calamities are being driven by something.
Oh, these calamities have been happening for as long as... well, as long as I've known. But remembered.
For thousands and thousands of years. To any civilization that has tried to settle the Stolen Lands. It may be said to be a curse or superstition, even. Nobody is sure. But any attempt always seems to fail. Whether or not you're the ones to break that cycle remains to be seen still. So, where to from here, guys?
I really, really, really want to explore that one hex as
What
we
if
go
we
next.
just
Yeah,
bypass
yeah.
that one last hex and never explore it?
That would be hilarious. Imagine
No,
if there's something important there.
let's explore it after all. We can do that.
So you head up here. Roll me a reconnoiter.
I think Giraffe is our
Yeah.
reconnoiter at this point.
As you look through
I wanna-
these lands in the foothills of the Tors of Lemnes, this seems to be where the Little Selen River sort of grows and sort of goes further through the Selen Hills and down into the River Kingdoms itself. But there's nothing of particular note here.
I'm surprised that curse wore off. I was expecting to spend years with it.
Your curse, no. The curse on your kingdom, yes.
Yeah, I was talking about specifically the one that gave Giraffe paranoia.
Yeah, that's not gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You've
not?
totally still got that one.
It
Yeah.
is not.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool. That's
Mhm.
fine.
As it turns out, killing
very
Lamashtu's beloved flower does not make Lamashtu less mad at you.
Like, oh, well, I guess that's impressive enough. No.
Shall we go to the Hunter's Lodge then and tell them the good news?
We should. I could use some good rest. in a building.
Absolutely.
Alright, so, we'll say the rest of the sort of travels today leave you back at the Hunter's Lodge. And arriving here, thank you, Conair, you find yourselves right back here. Seems nice enough. It's actually been sort of put together a little bit better than before as you guys arrive back at the front here. And yeah, still here, sort of stepping down the stairs in front of you is, Jamil Visser. Welcome back.
Hi.
We have wonderful news.
I think I know what you're going to tell me. We've not seen beasts nearly in as many numbers in the last day or so.
You must have quite impressive scouts to have formed a census within a day.
Well, the creatures have been... It's been pretty apparent when they have appeared, where they've appeared from. It's been different. We can tell enough. We are monster hunters by trade. We would know.
They are experienced. We destroyed the source of the explodey things.
The flowers.
That's what we're
the
calling them?
portals.
Very well. Then finally my friend's death has been avenged, and the deaths of all the other poor souls who've, well, suffered this as well. We have had reports on the outskirts of your kingdom on other occurrences of this, of people that were far from the city, where word didn't reach them in time to, well, be careful with what they eat, or have just been slaughtered by roaming beasts, made bloodthirsty by this transference from some other plane to our own. But, thankfully, due to your speed, we didn't hear anything about any of your towns or your capital being afflicted. Or at least, if they were, you've dealt with it before anything could occur.
That's about as good an outcome as we can hope for. Are there still any monsters that are formed from from this infection that's still roaming around?
If there are, we'll find them. If you will allow us to stay in your lands, to make this our home for the time being for the guild, the Embeth Travelers.
Given all that's happened between us, I have no... Well, personally, I don't have any issue with that.
I
How about you?
foresee a good relationship with you and your people.
Indeed, I think it's a fantastic idea.
What a
Seems fair
profitable
recompense
one at
for all the
that.
help you've given us.
And if there's anything you need for her, you know where to find us.
There will be plenty of work for us. There will still be beasts roaming your lands. Of course. We'll deal with what ones we know about, but we'll also, of course, accept offers of payment for farther afield ones. Well, we have to keep the doors open.
I'm sure we can make some arrangements once we're back at our capital.
Perhaps. Though our guild has never been fully vassalized by any other nation, we would perhaps like to stay leasing these lands from you, but not being under your jurisdiction, so to say. But of course, still doing a very important deed for your people.
That sounds agreeable to me.
That works for now. I can understand not wanting to be associated with a young nation too closely, or subject to its laws.
Or if these lands become too tame for us. We wouldn't want to be subject to it and tied to it if we wanted to pick up and go somewhere else.
Didn't consider that.
That's fine as well, I would say. I mean, wouldn't want your people to get complacent.
The work is never done. Either way, you've done a great service for your people. I'm sure they are awaiting a return.
perhaps by the
Where's
time we
Norbert?
have returned, there'll be another problem to solve.
Where's Norbert?
He's not on the scene.
Robert's back at
Oh,
home.
okay.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, don't be a stranger. Come visit with any information you might have, and yeah.
Of course. Farewell. With you
Farewell
guys
to you as well.
heading out. Get back to the Stolen Lands proper.
I forgot. Does it cost anything to move runes around on these weapons?
10% of the cost of the rune.
Ah,
Thundering runes are expensive.
maybe I should just keep it on the Montbellier then.
And oh yeah, you guys would have bunked down at this hunting lodge because it would have cost another day to head back to town.
Good point, yeah.
So let's do the calendar. It's now the 28th of Rova, in the fall months. As the leaves of deciduous trees that make up sort of your core lands are losing their leaves and things are getting a little bit colder. But yeah. I assume you guys make your way back to Scaleport.
Oh, I didn't mean to move that, sorry.
Indeed.
And as you arrive back to town, over the hills that sort of surround it here as it's on its own hill up against the waters of the Tuskwater, well, it seems like everything is as normal. On the fringes, you can see all these smokestacks of, people warming up in these fall months. You can see the city itself as it sort of rises up this slope that reaches almost to that top where the Stag Lord's fort once stood, and now your Capitol building stands. And people seem jovial enough. You pass by a few people on your way back into town. People just give a bow. My barons, welcome back. And the guards of the town sort of also bow to you. And yeah, everyone is being extremely respectful, and you even get a little bit of a small crowd forming as you guys walk through the town here, people hooping and hollering, "Hooray to the lords of Scaleport! They've done us great service. I was worried about my child." And so many other different things that people say as you guys arrive back at the, hall. I'm looking for some music. Where is it? It is... Let's do... not that one. Where is my good music? Here we go. We'll do that one. And as you leave the crowds behind, make your way back in to the Kingdom Hall, everyone sort of makes their way out. Tristian, Kassingares, Joltkavkin, Jubilost, and the Kobold brothers. Not really sure that they're brothers, but either way, that would be, forget their names, Creek and Prassel. And yeah, that's who you have here. Welcome back, my lords. Well done, says Keston.
We
Yes,
hope to come to deliver the good news ourselves, but it seems word travels faster than we do.
Well, we all felt the seas change, or the tides change, so to say. And during the night, we assumed that was what it was. You defeating whatever curse this was upon us. There were people getting sick, there were people getting worried, but now, yes, we are pretty sure that you've done your task well.
hopefully with minimal casualties here or in the surrounding area.
Minimal here. Only one or two being, unfortunately mauled by some of those beasts as our guards have been spread thin, but nobody is suffering the horrible fate that has befallen others on the outskirts of the kingdom itself. You made haste, you did your duty to your kingdom. And I suppose you should expect some rest at this point.
Perhaps a little bit of celebration would be in order as well. To lift up the spirits of the people.
Maybe a festival for the town?
Sounds like fun.
That would be great, says Tristian here. I'll start the organizations. The people will know, and the people will rejoice. In peace once more. So with that, as you guys organize this festival and go about enjoying some peace for once in the kingdom here, is there anything you guys are doing specifically as you get back to town?
Dramus is definitely really curious about Draft's curse and is barraging him relentlessly with questions about his own experience and what he's planning to do.
Parents will check with the kobolds to see if what has become of that one merchant that was bad mouthing us constantly, or if we've heard any news from any of our other scouts.
Ooh, did he fall victim to the sickness?
Karik sort of puts his claws together.
Yes, well, because of this, disaster, and because of the changes in the tax laws, it seemed to have been enough pressure to force them to leave their muddying behind, their attempts at disreputing your people and yourselves. Seems at that point, they just had to pack up and leave. So that's dealt with.
That's good news. Well, not officially. Privately, good news.
Of course.
And you see Jubilas sort of stepping up. And we are going to probably take those trade laws off the books for the time being, as I would not want, well, anyone to fall prey to them.
Perhaps maybe wait a short time so it doesn't seem too obvious why we put them in place.
Correct, yes. We will not do that then. I'll do it in a month's time, perhaps. Either way. When the accounts...
And if a situation pops up that warrants using this law, then perhaps we can discuss it and put a show on of perhaps being somewhat lenient or something.
Yes, perhaps, yes. Either way, there's so much work to be done. Let's rush this off. So, anything else you guys doing? Oops.
Well, you know what I want to do is I want to spend some time in the tavern. I want to be among the people. I want to perform, to carouse, to be among them, energize myself, show that I'm one of them, and hopefully continue to build trust. That I can theoretically hear of anything that needs to be heard.
Sure. So, either roll me a performance or diplomacy check there, as you head off to do your thing. During this newfound free time that you guys have.
I'm going to roll it as a performance because that was kind of how I described it best. Although my diplomacy is slightly better. It's a 20. It's not like it's going to hurt anything. Probably.
It probably won't, no. The people are impressed. They give you the proper respect after you make your performances known. But at the same time, they're not so impressed they would do any more in terms of their sort of affection for the kingdom or their duties to it. Or rather just be persuaded a little bit more. They're all a little bit antsy, wondering when the next thing will occur, wondering if you guys will be able to deal with it. But most of those are drowned out by those who support what you have done here. They know the dangers of settling a new land like this. They know the monsters and the ancient curses and all of that. They've placed a lot of trust in you guys, and you haven't broken it just yet.
And if nothing else, being there, I can at least show that I'm trying to listen.
Of course. So as you're doing that, what are the rest of you doing as days of peace turn to weeks of peace. Weeks actually turn to months. Nearly a year, or actually a year and a half, will pass. As the winter months go by, spring blooms, and then summer's heat arrives. Actually, a year and a half would be... you would be in spring to start things off. During that time, you guys were managing the kingdom whenever you needed to, sort of controlling and expanding whatever you'd need to do that. But since we as a group have decided not to do the kingdom management, we don't have to run through all of that, of course.
And crafting as well, right?
Oh yeah. Over that time, over a year and a half's time, you have plenty of downtime to retrain, if you want to change out some feats, and do anything else that suits your fancy, what your character would do during that time.
I might have to look
boy.
into that.
I'm going to retrain and do a lot of crafting. A lot of crafting.
More
Parents?
flavor-wise rather than statistically. Giraffe's just gonna learn a new method of fighting to, in spite of the curse, rather than trying to cure it.
Mm-hmm. Well, as Yarmus, do you tell Tristian about the curse?
About Giraffe's curse?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Yarmus is going to ask Giraffe permission for that first.
Why? Why do you want to tell him?
Well, that seems like something that's pretty bad. I know what it's like to be cursed, to be felt like you're being spurned by someone you worship, you idolize.
Used
Maybe
to.
there's something that can be done. You no longer follow the mash tube?
I'm regretting it.
I understand. Even then, though, perhaps there's some way to, remove it. And you won't have to worry again about it again because you're not worshipping her anymore.
Maybe. For now, I just want to try and work past it, regardless as to whether or not it stays.
Certainly a good idea. But would you be fine with me talking to Christine about it? Regardless, see if we can whip something up in the meanwhile.
Do as you will.
Alright, Yarmus is definitely going to tell Christine about Ralph's curse then.
And as you go to Tristian with it, Tristian will sort of impart, well, you know how we've dealt with your curse, but his is from an evil goddess. We would not want him to return to the good graces of the Mashtu, for that would require some sort of evil deed, some sort of unthinkable action to return to the graces of an evil goddess like that.
Most definitely, he doesn't seem keen on appealing to her anymore either. Is there any way to defy God in this manner?
The only way to defy a god's curse is to go to another god, to ask them for protection, or at least to find in yourself another god's grace. Otherwise, if they continue onwards, just worshipping nothing, or at least trying to follow the guides or truths of other gods, then he will be, perhaps for a very long time, until Amashtu lets go of her hatred, which I doubt for an evil goddess. It will be a very long time.
I understand. Counsel is invaluable as always, Tristian.
Perhaps he should find in himself the grace of another god. Hopefully. He'll step away.
Well, Jarmus is going to, I suppose, relay that information to Giraffe.
Well, I was considering abandoning her anyways.
Breaking out from your faith can be a big change. Also, give you one Are you going to consider following another in time, or shall you continue in this path? Your own.
I'll figure it out. It's a lot of questions still.
As we always have.
So over that time, Draff, as try as you might, it's always distracting. Feeling there's something over your shoulder, especially in a fight. Sort of your instincts in a fight are shifted in a way that make you have a lot of trouble. So over that time, yeah, it will not abate.
I feel like I'm close. Maybe we need to go in the wilds again, figure this out.
Parent, what are you doing over this time, this year and a half?
So, Parent is probably going to take up teaching people in the kingdom magic. Maybe he'll take on some apprentices over this time period.
Okay,
Maybe to try to earn some money so he can buy stuff.
sure. You guys also have the party inventory and the sale box, and we still have money to distribute as well. So,
Yeah, but it would be good to have some trained mages in our kingdom to help with everything, basically.
sure.
Yes.
So roll me an Arcana check over that course of time.
Okay, you want that blind or public?
Public. Your efforts are a success. Over that time, you gather up the right pupils, they're attentive, they offer themselves well to your knowledge and studies. And over a year or so, as you finish up this sort of tenure with them, you feel as though they're novice mages. These few, perhaps half a dozen, as you were able to pick out from the cream of the crop of the kingdom. But yeah, you have those sort of in your retinue, so to say. And of course, you can do the earn income for that as well. Yeah, so, with that as well, Gaz, what are you doing here?
I was gonna retain a little and probably just to spend most of my time crafting. I'm not exactly sure what I'll be crafting, considering I can also just invent new stuff, but crafting.
Good grief, will I have to do the math for how many things I can craft exactly?
No. So, remember that crafting does cost money. And
Yeah.
it's almost equivalent to just buying the items as well. If you...
So we're not using like the rules to reduce prices by crafting it for longer, right? Or
No, you are. You are.
Okay.
Yeah. Just for the purpose of it, if there is a lot you guys want to do with it, that would be best out of session.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
guys
sure.
sort of like put those together and roll them out on your end. I trust you, of course, with those rolls. But yeah, they could be rolled in the game chat here. Either way, though,
Gotcha.
we'll do that. We'll do that out of session if there's a lot you guys
Yeah,
are doing.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Fair enough.
So, have a look at the party inventory. We do need to do some buying and selling, though. I'm going to go sell the treasure items for you guys real quick here.
Yeah, that'd be reasonable.
That's good. Yeah. Sure.
Probably get rid of the weapons we have in there unless somebody really wants them.
Yep. As always, throw those things in the sale box. Anything you aren't keeping around. And if you think something should be thrown away, if nobody's claiming it, throw it into the sale box. Don't ask everybody first. It's up to you guys if you want something to look at the sale box and be like, okay, I want that actually. So you take it out. Otherwise, yeah, that way it's a lot faster.
We have this +1 leather armor in there. I'm sure somebody wants to take the rune off that.
Yeah, that would be me. I don't think we're gonna use this serum.
Which serum?
Perhaps not.
Okay.
The funny one.
Oh.
The one that many people wish they had.
Hmm.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
I have no idea what you mean.
Just look in the sale box.
Kiba's perfectly fine being male for now, so.
Giraffe, we're getting some
For
feedback
now.
from yours end. Your mic may be too close to the speakers.
Sorry, my headphones were being messy, so I took them off.
Ah, yeah, no problem.
Alright, that's it.
Are the stores stocked with new magic items, or
Yes, so for the purpose of it, you can buy things up to your level.
gotcha? Okay, thank you.
Do we want to keep this ring of bestial friendship, with the lock of green hair woven around it?
I would highly recommend not.
Not keeping it?
I don't think that's a good ring. Well, unless you want to use it for scrying purposes.
I think this is relevant to our overall investigation. We should probably keep it.
I don't think we should use it.
Can I use some of the time over like this year and a half to invest in this Aeon Stone? The clear spindle?
Yeah, that takes like 10
A
minutes.
week.
Also, pretty much asked everybody but me, but over this long period of time, Kiba's main focus, well, beyond general ruling stuff, whatever, is we'll be trying to build up the town's culture a bit, trying to encourage the arts a bit more. We'll be reaching out to our neighboring nations and communities or whatever, trying to encourage them to share, to trade, to show their artistic specialties, etc., come together here, stuff like that. And in the process, also furthering himself in this newfound enjoyment of actually using his own dancing, singing, etc. for power, by retraining for some bard feats and stuff. But
Okay.
I'll have to do that between sessions.
Yeah.
So you said it's a tenth of the cost of the item to
Tenth of the
transfer
cost
the
of
rune?
the rune. The
Oh,
rune
of the
that you're
rune.
transferring.
How much is a +1 armor rune worth?
35 GP, so it'd be 3 gold, 5 silver.
Okay, I'm gonna transfer it from the leather armor to my chainmail.
Oh wait, no. The sorry, I thought you were asking +1 on a weapon. A +1 on the armor is different. It is 160 gold pieces, so 16 gold pieces to transfer.
Oh, okay.
Actually, let me put the year correctly. 4712. Then it would actually be 4713. Year and a half, but then we'd move back in time a little bit here.
A ridiculous piece of equipment. It's like looking at magical items up to level 7, and I just found the Maestra's chair.
So, in fact, a few of your all of your birthdays would have passed over that course of time, so increase your age by 1.
Oh boy, I can't wait to get the wisdom bonus from being venerable.
Mine was about to come up. It was late October-ish.
Imagine knowing your birthday.
Right?
You would increase your age by 2 years, I think, then, Kiba, because it was a year and a half.
Nice. I'm now officially an old man. Like 24. Yeah.
Your life's basically over.
Yeah, if I was like a JRPG protagonist, I would be like the ancient old man.
Hmm.
Not protagonist. I can't be a protagonist of the 24. I'm like the aged wise mentor 24.
I found a rune that people might want to add to their weapons. Perhaps. Maybe.
What?
I like runes.
I can't link it. It's a death drinking rune.
Death drinking.
Death drink?
Oh, I love drinking that. What?
Where's
Shit.
that? Is
if
that?
you slay an enemy, you get a +1 to attack and damage rolls for 10 minutes.
Yo.
That sounds giraffe.
Yo. That's going on the
It is
bloodthirst
a
if possible.
rare item.
So probably not gonna be sold.
It means that I have to give explicit permission for the rare traded stuff. However,
It
Oh.
makes sense with the bloodthirst. I'll say that.
oh, this is from Kingmaker. Or at least the companion guide. Okay.
Oh, it's probably gonna come up in a quest or something instead of just buying it.
Well, without meta being involved, you can access this because it's part of the Kingmaker adventure path. So, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah. Always look at the source of things. Like, if it's rare but it's from Kingmaker, I usually will allow it, of course.
Gotcha.
Sweet. Can't wait to find it next session.
Well, it is when held by a living creature, the weapon causes twinges of hunger to manifest. If you're, well, okay with this sort of negative energy, this sort of, like, almost evil to it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Now going to be both thirsty
It's true.
and hungry from his weapons.
Don't
At the
worry,
end of the
the
day,
on stone will counteract that negative effect.
if you can really sort of, like, justify it, sure.
We're gonna need to start saving up money for resilient runes too. They're expensive.
Yeah, resilient runes are just about what you should
Think
be
well.
going for now, yeah. So, sailbox. Have you guys all dumped whatever you want to do into the sailbox here?
Yeah.
Double checking.
Have you looked at the party
Excellent.
inventory?
Thanks
I'm not seeing anything else that I want to dump in.
Okay. So, just to note as well, if you have items in the party inventory and they're just sitting there, they're not very useful to you, like the Ring of Negative Resistance.
I was just thinking about taking that actually.
Yeah.
I mean, resist is resist.
Since you have so many slots, you have 10 investments, you guys should always wear these. You should always use them. Never know when they might be useful.
Wait, so
My
the
big
party
problem is that
Sorry, go ahead,
my
Giraffe.
my problem is that I'm 2-weapon fighting, so a lot of these cool things like I don't know, the smoke stick or the anti-plague, it's just really inconvenient for me to use because I have to drop a weapon, use another action, take it out, and a second action to use it.
Yeah, but a lot of those are as well preparatory things. You do those before. You look at those before a fight, or
Okay.
if you're like plagued or you need an antidote, you take those after a fight or something like that. Remember, the anti-plague and antidote last for like hours, so if you ever expect anything that's going to be venomous, you should use those before the fight, not during it.
Wait, so there. Just make sure the party inventory is the green bag, right?
The party inventory is now on the party sheet up top.
Oh shoot. Okay, so that's why there's nothing here. Gotcha.
I'm going to delete that old party inventory then. There we go. Yeah, you'll still use the sailbox in the town hall storage. But you have some stuff in the town hall storage that should be in the sailbox here. I'm just going to throw those over.
Oh yeah, I should probably rename my familiar, all things considered.
I have a rune that Kaba might be interested in.
Hello. What is it?
It is the pacifying rune.
Tell me more.
It's a reaction. If you damage a creature, they must make a will save or be pacified, which means they take a -2 penalty to attack rolls on any attacks that are non-lethal for 1 minute.
Oh, wow.
Pacifying, if I remember correctly, comes from another module, another AP.
It's Treasure Vault, actually.
Oh, did they put that in Treasure Vault too? Okay, command mentally triggered. It's a DC 20. That won't succeed at this level.
Oh,
Oh, that is unfortunate.
it's such a cool idea, though. It would fit my theme.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
if it's-
exactly why I suggested it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like, there are a lot of things that look powerful at first, but if you actually look into the math of things, the DC of things, then they become a little bit less of a sort of golden goose, so to say.
Didn't we get a Ring of the Ram? Like, is somebody actually going to use that?
No.
Who has it?
I think
I'm currently holding it. If anybody wants it, they can
Yes.
hold it.
The DC
My
on
third-
that is also like 20.
23.
Yeah.
do we want to keep the Reign of Bestial Friendship or just sell it?
We probably shouldn't sell that.
Because
We-
we think it's evil?
First of all, yes, it is evil, and second of all, it's potentially useful in the sense of
The
That's
plot.
right.
The plot.
Yeah.
the hair.
Hey, since you're already looking it up, Nix, is there a ritual of DNA analysis?
Yo, a
I'm just
Basilia
browsing
plan?
items, don't worry. I'm not actually looking up stuff.
I've distributed what you guys sold in the sale box there. So that's 160 gold pieces. Yes, it's in platinum pieces, so it won't show as gold pieces.
So,
Love it.
if we were like also trying to collect money during this year and a half, what would we do for that?
So for the purpose of that, it would be earn income. And because you have kingdom duties, it won't be a year and a half of earn income. I will say it's going to be about 6 months out of that year and a half that you would have for earn income. So that would be 36, 90, 120, 150, 180 days you have.
So I can't craft at work, right?
No, it's either or.
Gotcha.
Okay, am I good to just do the macro for this?
Yeah, just do the macro for 180 days. And yeah, that's what you guys will have for crafting as well, which is plenty. 99% of the time, adventurers don't get this much downtime.
There's some really fun looking runes here. The Frost rune can slow enemies on a crit.
Can I decide how many days out of that time I'm going to be working after I have the app session crafting?
Yeah, sure.
Gotcha, thank you.
And should anybody be done with buying, selling, doing whatever you need to do, retraining, move your tokens out from the Kingdom Hall to just signify as such.
Can I just add that money to my sheet then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't mind me just doing all my retraining between sessions?
Yeah. So
Perfect,
just
thanks.
tally up like how much retraining you would be doing. It's 1 week for every thing, right? Like a feat
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. And then after that, you can use the remaining days for earn income if you want to.
Cool.
Can I buy a Ringmaster staff?
A Ringmaster staff, that is from another AP. That's from the
Correct, Extinction Curse.
yeah.
It's uncommon though.
Yeah, so uncommon's a little bit less. Let's see. Master Staff, Featherfall Floating Disc, Glue Disc. If you want those, I mean, there are also the staves that are like, of all the different schools that you could still get here. Here, let me see if I have my shop for those. Because you might be more interested.
Yeah, because there's a lot of staffs, and because to use a staff you have to be able to cast all the spells on the staff, so it's kind of a lot to take in.
Well, most of the time, if it's a school staff, like of divination, of evocation, those are pretty much made for arcane casters. So you can be pretty sure about school staffs. Let me see.
So,
where's my shop?
what's the main thing limiting multiple property runes from going on a weapon?
How much potency it has. So if it's a +1 potency,
Oh, so if it's a +2, I see.
+2 gets you 2 property runes, and so on.
Alrighty. So I guess we'll have to wait until we get
Yeah, and that's around
weapon
level
potency
10
too.
when you get +2s.
Level 10 already. But I can still admire. I'm good with Thundering for now.
Mm.
That's a really good one. I don't need to move it. Bloodthirst, it already has shifting. I don't want to take that off because it's been
Yeah.
useful.
At this point, you guys should be looking at +1 for your armors. It's sort of a baseline thing that everyone should get, so that you sort of are, catching up, or you're defensive enough.
I would like to get the stanching. Yeah, stanching for my armor.
Mm-hmm.
Staunching.
Staunching. So I'm gonna buy that.
It's a good one.
Would you look at that? I can afford it.
I'm getting a resilient rune for my skills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting myself a better armor.
Can we get
That's more
resilient?
suited to
Was
my
there, like,
stats.
are we able to get resilient wounds? They're like level 8.
Yeah, you can get them, because over that year and a half, you could go to Brevoy. You could go to Rostov and
gotcha.
buy it
Fair.
from there.
Did you say you did have a staff shop, or should I just?
I didn't find it, but if you just look up like Staff of Divination, Staff of Abjuration, Staff of Necromancy, you'll find the school staffs. Those are the ones that are pretty recommended, highly.
Oh shoot, I need like like 6 more copper to afford the rune. Is someone willing to give me 6 pieces of copper?
Just
yeah.
give yourself 6 it's fine. Copper is like nothing. You could literally just go into the treasury and pick up 6
Just
copper
like
pieces.
just like add a silver, I'll subtract a silver. It's that easy.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Let's go out to a random villager, demand their taxes right now in 6 copper.
Just do a silver.
Oh shit, I did the math wrong. I
I
need 4
spent-
more gold on top of that. Darn it.
I basically spent all of my money on both of those roads.
I changed my mind. I am going to be spending all that time making money because I really need that resiliency rune.
Yeah,
Or
Giraffe,
else I'll die.
you haven't done your earned income yet either, so...
No, I haven't. Can I work on training the guard?
Sure, yeah.
Train some soldiers similar to how Parenth trained.
Mhm.
What skill check would that be? Like athletics?
That would be
Fighter?
athletics, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Can this be public?
Well, it would be if you look up the earn income macro, you would do it from there. Because it allows you to put in 180 days, it allows you to put in a certain DC for your level. So if you look up standard DCs, you can find this DC for your level, which is what you could do at maximum. Like Yarmos did level 7, which is what you guys are at, and succeeded for that much money.
The macro's not working on me. What?
Oh, Yarmouth is doing basically the same thing. It's just this time he's selling them. What he's making.
Essentially. Giraffe, you should drag the macro down to your macro bar. If that one's not working, go up to the compendium and drag out a new one, or something like that.
Just earn income, right?
Yeah. Failure there.
Wow.
So that would be level 7, right?
For 180 days.
Yeah, it's not
Oh
working.
dear. You guys have any change
Roll
for
me a-
365 gold?
Giraffe, roll me an athletics check. We'll do it this way.
Alrighty. I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay. Not the best time of it. You're only going to get 720 silver pieces for it. As, well, you're distracted a lot of the time, and, well, even though, yes, you are the barons, you could literally just go into the treasury and take money out of it. You have enough, sort of, self-respect not to, we'll say. So, yeah. It's a strange thing to earn income in your own kingdom.
Respect the law, be respected in turn.
It's literally the king. Is there like a quick button for converting all your coins into the price denomination?
Not sure that there is. But you can just see total
Gotcha.
coinage in GP underneath the
Yeah,
coins.
it's just that like carrying weight is an actual issue for my character in particular.
Oh. You should put stuff in your backpack you still have like one bulk of stuff that can be put away there. That would help with your carry weight.
Like, yeah, yes, but like the potions feel like all things I should be.
Yeah, right.
on hand.
Well, your gold and stuff doesn't have any bulk right now, so you're good there.
My what stuff?
Your coins. You're good on the coins in
okay.
terms of weight.
Oh, okay. It was definitely like very heavy before I spent 340 coins.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Because I'm having trouble figuring this out.
Mhm.
These trying to put these into the chat 1 second. I can't. That is very annoying.
What is it you're putting into chat?
The gadgets gates, because I'm not sure if they're like. Oh no, wait, they're consumable. They're one-time use. Oh, that is pricey. Yeah, I was about to ask if they're like a one-time use
Yeah.
and or reuse, but yeah.
Consumable. But yeah, if you guys are finishing up on any of the stuff that you're doing here, move your tokens outside.
Okay, so I think I'm actually going to spend 4 weeks not earning income then.
Mhm.
Kind of a big shift there, but you know.
You guys probably want to put that scale mail somewhere else, since it's overweight for you.
Good point.
Okay, I did that wrong.
I am adding another item to the cell box that I forgot to move there for next time, I guess.
Okay. I'll just convert that to 50 GP for the party inventory here. So if anything, anybody needs like 50 or lower than that, of course, it's in the party inventory. So.
Sorry, my internet cut out for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I am ready.
I have bought a staff of conjuration.
Staff of conjuration.
What are you gonna conjure? Oh, during this this time, can we also like awaken Norbert?
No, we can't. No,
Oh, okay.
that's a high level ritual.
What level is it? Let me check.
So level 6 for spells, it's a rank 6 ritual, which is level 11 for character, like for casting.
Okay,
purposes.
cool. The moment we hit level 11, Norbert is going to be awakened, and Parenth, you're gonna teach him some wizard spells.
Actually,
And
I'm
we
gonna
can upcast it if we keep spending money on the rituals until we
take.
succeed.
I'm gonna take back that staff purchase. I'll decide that after session sometime.
Okay.
What would the staff do?
I got a staff of conjuration, which gives you some summoning spells, but I don't think I actually want that. I'll keep researching.
Okay.
Conjuration spells are like good. Like, oh yeah, here you have another ally now, but it's a lot to keep track
They're
of.
locked at level 2 with the basic staff. So
Yeah.
Practitioner Demiurge.
Conjuration, or just summoning creatures in general, unless you like really try to make it work, it's not that effective of a use of your actions.
yep.
It can be.
I was just looking at the spells and I was like, yep, okay, this isn't helpful.
It's a spell that basically gives you another spell list to comb over.
Yeah, the best use of them is if you can summon creatures that cast spells, and then you use one action for them to cast a 2-action spell from themselves. That's kind of the way that people usually use them, though. Like, they're otherwise pretty useless. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I summon a unicorn to cast its heal spells. It's pretty good use of it, but yeah, it's kind of cheesy.
That's what Summon Dragon's gonna be for later. Just you wait.
Mm-hmm.
He summons himself and gets himself to cast more spells.
Oh, good job.
Critical success from Kiba.
Oh, great, nice. Big money.
456 GPs. Got lots to spend there.
Dang.
Probably first thing you want is Resilience Rune. It's always a good thing to get.
I would love a resilient room.
Yeah,
That is
I
what-
was
that is
barely
what I
able to
did.
afford one.
+1 to all saves.
I also got stanching, which sounds really cool because like bleed recovery checks are going to be easier, and I tend to get cut a lot.
I mean,
Actually,
math-wise, it's less of a 1 to all saves and more of a you don't take a -1 to all saves relative to your level.
are there any property runes that are actually pretty good for armor?
There can be. They're the purple
Uh.
ones that you see in the rune shops up there are the armor type ones.
Well, I got stanching. That's what I got. You might want something else.
Notable ones are invisibility, energy resistance, stuff like that.
Very expensive.
Usually, armor property runes are luxuries.
Yeah.
But yeah, just leaves Kiba, and we're ready to go.
I have a resilient half plate.
I'm sitting on a +1 resilient height armor.
Okay, I will finalize my feats later, but I'm pretty sure I got the amount of retraining locked in there.
Okay. So, as you guys are, well, enjoying the peace of the kingdom, in the springtime here, as it came around, it has grown quite considerably, with each of you having grown yourselves in terms of the, well, combats you've faced, the threats you've dealt with. The kingdom has caught up. As there are many new shops, there are people using magic throughout the streets to lift up some heavier sort of, construction materials sometimes, as they are sort of using those skills now to great effect from parents' help. The guards are doing well enough. They've been difficult for Giraffe to sort of whip into shape here. Kiba's given a lot of hope to the people, a lot of joy and a lot of culture as well. As a lot of that has been brought in, a lot of that River Kingdom's culture, a lot of their fairs and festivals, but a lot of Brevik and Mivani, a lot of other nation-states around. It makes those who move here feel a little bit more at home, and it even attracts more people here because, well, it's kind of like home for them. So that's doing well. And of course, the forges are bristling with the crafts of Yarmos and Gaz. But one day, as you guys are taking court, sort of listening to the issues of the people, at your seats at the north here, I forget who was actually king. Was it Kiba?
Parent,
Yes.
I think.
His parents now.
Oh, Parent, yeah.
Oh,
Gaz-
no, it is
Gaz-
now.
It's
Oh, boy.
Gaz, but maybe we like cycle roles.
We take
No,
turns.
Gaz got deposed. Gaz got abdicated.
And as you are hearing these things, these issues, you have Karik sort of pushing past some of the civilians. Sorry, out of the way. Important news. I'm sorry, my lords, but there's been some issues in the east. Please come into the ready room. In here. We need to talk privately.
Oh, great.
Sort of waves this little message, this letter in his hand, as he seems to have already gathered a few other sort of notables of your court here.
And here I was already enjoying my calm time.
A year and a half's plenty. It's been a while since the last major thing happened. It's bound to be sooner than later.
I was starting to enjoy our time of peace.
Well, in these lands, I doubt it will last for long. I'm surprised it lasted so long at all, says Castangares as he joins you here. And it has been our longest period of peace as well. But this time, from what Karik has told us, this is not a threat to our kingdom, but to another.
You mentioned the east.
Yes, of course. Now, do you remember who is who has taken charge under Lady Germondi's, shall we say, I forget the charter. There we go. Who went that way with Lady Germondi's charter?
That Varn guy.
Maker Varn.
Yes, Maker Varn. Leader of the...
Named his-
Sorry, go.
He named his city after himself, so surely trouble would have come eventually.
Yes, that Maker Varn. And, well, he has over these times kept up good relations with us. We've seen no threat or need to worry about them, especially them being over the tors of Lebanese. It's quite a good natural border. But, unfortunately, it seems as though all communications have ceased from them. As if, from their last correspondence about 2 months ago, nothing else has come around. And it seems like we are not the only ones who has lost contact with them. This letter here comes from Lady Germondi Aldoy. She sent it to you in hopes that you would figure out what has happened, as they have also lost contact. They say no trade comes up from the Kiravoy riverline, the road that leads to Brevoy from their town of Varnhold. They say that no messages come either way. They used to receive messages by pigeon quite often, but now nothing. Not even if they send their own over there. It's as if they've all just disappeared.
Nobody has gone down to check on them yet?
Well, from what we could tell, Lady Germondi is dealing with ever-increasing threats of civil war in Brevoy against the ruling clan of the Saratovs, or I think it's something like Saratovs, but either way, they've been at each other's throats, the Aldoi and the actual rulers of Brevoy, for quite some time, and, well, she can't afford to send an expedition anywhere else for the time being. So that's why she asks you, since, well, you've been dealing with threats in the Stonelands for a very long time, and perhaps you care for the fate of Varnhold.
Varnhold has been an ally for all this time, but even if it wasn't that wasn't the case, if there's no communication from them, no contact, then that essentially means that our eastern border is undefended. So we have two good motivations to take care of this.
Correct as well. There's no
Besides,
buffer state in the east. Who knows what could happen?
I was getting a bit antsy anyways, just waiting around.
Whatever it is, Lady Germondi has asked that, well, you find out what's happened and maybe restore things to correct order. Everyone's sort of in the dark, though. Nobody knows what's going on. So, at the end of the day, it's up to you. What happens with them? What really is the result of all of this? Because Lady Germondi's eyes are elsewhere. She cannot enforce her will.
I feel like outright annexing them would go against what most people here would want. But
Yeah.
perhaps we can convince them to try to tie the nation closer to us.
If there is a nation remaining there,
The whole nation just doesn't randomly stop communicating. Something must have happened.
Best case scenario, their postal system just got shut down. But we all know that's not going to be the case.
We have received reports that they have been warring with the centaurs for quite some time. Those centaurs have never been friends of humankind. Perhaps it is their doing. Keston sort of notes.
Centaurs, huh? We should probably be prepared to potentially deal with them if we go.
Tristian, though, interjects. Though, from what I know of the centaurs, they are not warlike unless others encroach upon their lands. They protect what is theirs. They do not want to conquer. They wouldn't wipe them out. I couldn't imagine that.
So even if they are involved, it's most likely that they're not responsible.
At the very least, my understanding of their people tells me as such.
It seems Varnhold might be the belligerent here.
Knowing Mayor Varn, that doesn't seem particularly likely either.
Well, you'll find out when you get there. There is a pass over the mountains here on the map. That will get you there.
Never been so far east.
These are the edges of the Stolen Lands. There's 3 regions across them. Dunswood, which is sort of the rugged hills, and then just a bit of green, fertile land in the clefts, or the valley almost, between the tors here. Along the Kiravoy River, this is. Varnhold is right here, at the end of that road.
So I'm going to reveal that on a map here, so you don't have to reconnoiter, of course.
And I may have missed it, but where was the pass across the mountains?
Yeah, he hasn't said it yet.
The pass is right here. You find it easy enough to go across them there. You should look for a watchtower that they've set up in that pass there to guard the roads. And, well, there should be guards there too, but something tells me you won't find anybody there, judging by the issues we're having with communication. The Noman Heights are as well, sort of in the southeastern lands here, up on the plateaus and rugged highlands that are below much of the more spiky peaks of the Tors of Lebanese. That's where the centaurs usually roam. And I believe even the clan that is there is named Noman. But of course, you're also dealing with the Tors of Lebanese. It remains to be seen if you must delve deep into them, though I would dress for the cold. In your search for this civilization that has just vanished. Do you have any questions?
I don't know much about centaurs, but are they... Well, would one consider them to be monsters?
Tristian sort of notes. Well, they are humanoid. They are thinking, conscious creatures. They would be like any other. You could parlay with. You could speak to. You should.
Well, I must wonder. Well, you know about the future for monsters that seems to be championed as a cause by many of the residents of the Stolen Lands. I was wondering if there's such a people that could be called to that cause as well.
I would highly doubt it. But we can't know for sure either way, says Keston here. Suffice to say, they're not known for being bloodthirsty or as part of that crowd, no. They're known for being nomadic and insular, sort of keeping to themselves.
Gotcha.
So, make any preparations you need to make, and we'll hold the fort down while you're away, as we've done a few times before. Though this time, we're not being directly threatened, so that will be nice.
Let's hope the place doesn't catch on fire.
So, as the meeting wraps up, is there anything you guys need to ask, or is there any preparations you need to make? What are you doing as you make your way?
So, mechanically, is like weather a potential issue?
Not precisely, no.
Okay.
It's sort of in springtime. And yes, the Tors of Lebanese are... Think of the Tors of Lebanese as pretty low peaks. They're not like thousands of feet up. They don't get that cold. Just with snow at the tops of them. So, what say you guys?
Seems mechanically we sort of prepared for an outing. Get it done.
All right. I guess I'll take that as you guys are ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I might get some. Sorry. Between the session, I might learn some more spells too, but I can go with that later.
All right. So, as you guys begin on your journey to Varnhold, what route do you take? From where do you go?
Well, I'm fond of making use of our little navy to get us a quick trip through the river.
Could you be rowing upstream?
Got giraffe.
Follow the river for now. It's
Either way, you guys have developed roads and along the rivers, and
Yeah.
you have a transportation system.
we need to get there in a
Yeah.
good pace, but no
Are
reason to
trains
hurry
anachronistic
yet.
for this setting?
Sorry?
Are trains anachronistic to this setting?
Yes. Everywhere except for Alkenstar.
We should invest in that technology.
But, as you guys get about here, it's the end of the day. Your travels are, pretty easy along your usual routes here. And you rest under the watchful gaze of the Tors of Lebanese as day turns to night. Since these are your lands, you've tamed them enough. You don't need to worry about random encounters in the wilds here. So a day passes. 19th of Gosrin, 4732, or rather 13. Or is it 12? Let me look. 4713, yes. Shouldn't have the leaves going because it's not fall anymore. But in a bit of a chilly, brisk morning here, you look up into the Varnhold Pass here. And you find yourselves looking at that tower. That sort of maybe a 3-story stone tower stands at this sort of pass and its peak, sort of the top of the pass here. It's easily visible as you start making your way up through the pass here.
That's their watchtower, isn't it?
That it is. Is there anything you guys are doing as you're approaching?
Looking out for tracks or signs of traffic.
Survival check there.
Nothing special on my end.
Nothing new.
Exploration activities, right?
Essentially, yeah.
I'll just stick to search, as per usual.
I'll have my scout
I'm-
active.
I'm learning from DMing a separate game that if only one person searches, it becomes very rough.
Yeah, it's usually good to have like 2 people searching at the very least.
Parenthal will search with perception as well.
Search is like one of the big primary ones. Sort of the default almost. But as you guys look through here, you don't notice anything particularly out of the ordinary until you get very close, about a few feet away actually, as you just reach it essentially. Giraffe, along the way, along that whole route, you would have expected, because this is a narrow way through, this is the only way that's easily traversable back to your kingdom, there's no tracks. Or at least, if there are, they're so faint that you imagine that they're super old tracks.
Interesting.
As if nobody's made use of this for at least a month. As you guys arrive at this stone tower, you see this sort of piece of cloth that goes over a window opening, sort of flaps in the wind up here. You see up on the top of the watchtower here, a flag still stands at full height, so flaps in the wind as well, though it seems a little bit rugged, staying up there the whole time, never being taken down, almost, as it seems. There's a door in front of you, a rickety wooden door, that sort of like flaps on its hinges a little bit with the wind up here.
Yarmos knocks on it.
You knock, and it sort of clatters a little bit with your knock, but there is no response. Except for the hollow sound of wind sort of rustling through that cloth-draped window.
Hmm.
Well, people gotta take action.
Hello?
Yep, we're definitely gonna go check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
For the purpose of it, it's okay if one of you just says, I open the door. It doesn't step on
Gotcha.
everyone else's toes. You don't have to ask everyone, hey, can we open this door? You just walk up and open it. You do normal
I
stuff.
think we're just a bit low energy today.
Maybe, yeah. So, that being said, though, one of you, in a quantum superposition, opens the door, and one of you sees inside. Seeing this dirt floor, seeing some chairs, pretty simple wooden features, some plates with knives and forks on them, little bits of food that have been scarfed down perhaps by whatever scavengers have been around. It seems decently normal. There wasn't a scuffle here.
But no one's been here for a while either. Seems.
Exactly.
Hello. Yarmos calls out.
There's not much else in here. A few bunks, a ladder that just goes straight up to the top. There's no like second story to this. To a trap door that leads up to the tower's roof.
This is quite strange indeed.
Well, if Yarmos gonna suppose head up, see if there's any more clues that can be garnered from
Climb
their
up
position.
You climb up that ladder. Reaching the top, you push open the trapdoor. It's a little bit difficult with the wind up here. You hear the flapping of the flag up top there as it is battered by the wind, really. But you have enough footing to hold yourself up here. Looking across the parapets here, there's only a brazier that seems cold, like it's not been used in a very long time, and some piece of firewood alongside it, as if to give signal. Otherwise, though, there's nothing else up here but a view over the valley that stretches down towards Varnhold itself. But you may be able to see at sort of the edges of your vision here.
Well, the description we're given certainly seems apt. It's as if they disappeared right from where they were. Onto Varnhold then, I suppose.
And as you have this vantage point up the top here, Yarmos, you look down towards Varnhold there. It's about a couple of miles away, but you have enough of a good vantage that you can see it through the sort of like spring haze of, well, water vapor essentially at that distance. It's hard to see, right? But roll me a perception check as you're looking at it.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, you're having a hard time making out details. You'll probably have to get closer to really get a good view of exactly what the situation is on the town there.
Gotcha. Would anyone else like to take a stab?
Yeah, parents probably came up here too.
Go ahead, Perrin. Perrin, as your eyes sort of pierce a little bit of this, and you start noticing a little bit of movement through it, there is one thing. And that one thing is smoke. But not the smoke of many different village sort of town homes or things like that. No, just one plume. It seems to be coming from a hill in town there. Sort of a central focal point for the town. It's hard to tell much more.
Well, looks like there's a fire of some sort at least. That means, well, where there's fire, that means there's people to tend the fire.
And in that direction we should go.
It's in Varnhold.
Yeah. It is inside, sort of surrounded by the rest of the village there. You would have to walk through the rest of the town to get to it. But, if there's nothing else you guys want to try and do here, I assume you guys head down the valley.
Indeed.
Good with that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, we head down the valley.
give me one moment here.
Just for your knowledge, Koros, I ended up buying a staff of divination.
Sure. Actually, where did I put this stuff? Oh, is that in my new folder? Yeah. Alright, we're going to take a 5-minute break here. So
Sounds
I can get some set up. And you guys need to rest too, so... Yeah, we'll be back in 5
Sounds
minutes,
good, yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
I do.
Alright, we are back, and it looks like my thing is bugged out. 1 second. I have to interact with the scene view here. Get rid of that. There we go. Alright, so. Welcome back, guys. Oh, and my chat is also fucked up. There we go. Oop, lost monetization. Anyway, we're gonna go for like 10 more minutes. A lot of players are a little bit tired, so let's see what Varnhold has in store here as we get to the end here. As you guys come down the valley here, it's a bit of a rugged travel, so you're getting to town about afternoon, going on evening hours here. And as you're looking at Varnhold, well, you don't see much activity at all. You notice, though, where that smoke is coming from. It's coming from what seems to be a hill fort at the center of town or so. You're gonna have to walk through a bit of the town to get there, but as you arrive, you find yourselves on one of the roads on the outskirts of it, looking at some farmhouses here and there. None of them seem to have any sign of habitation. In the past, certainly. There are clothes on clotheslines flapping in the wind. There are, well, unfortunately, in some cases, pens where animals were being taken care of. Maybe the farmhouses, like family cow or something like that, a dairy cow. Some of them lie dead, or all of them really do, as they've been stuck without anyone to take care of them.
As we're traveling, is Parent able to like try to figure out if there's any like residual magic here, or like some mass magic that has happened or something?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay, 1 second, please.
I'll load
Public
you
or
guys.
blind?
Blind. Because recon knowledge or something like the sort.
Yep, for magic.
Yeah, always does take the time to knock on the doors of houses they pass, but also without slowing down the group but too much.
You knock
just
on a
to make
few.
sure.
There's only a hollow, sound in response. The hollowness of just an empty space. And Parent looking in, trying to find some sort of magical source for this disappearance. You don't really find any. Though it can also be said, it's very tough to follow the traces of magic on these sorts of timescales.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys arrive here, though, the village stretches out before you. Sort of the north part of the main sort of village space here, where it seems to be less farmhouses and more businesses and stuff like that. Across this river, which is the Kiravoy River, there's a ford there that goes into the rest of the town to the south, and continues even towards the fort in the south, past that.
Maybe we should investigate this today before we move on. There might be something we're missing.
It's very eerie to see a place that's supposed to be full of activity so empty. Wonder if there's a word for that. For this kind of
Abandoned?
space that's so uncanny. Not quite abandoned.
As you guys are progressing, what are your exploration activities?
Parent is going to continue to go back to normal searching after his magic sensing didn't really do much.
Okay.
I keep up the scout. Since
Alright.
I'm probably the worst at perception or tide at least.
I keep on searching.
Definitely keeping search as well.
You guys look around. There's a little bit of activity, though. There are a few crows that call in the air here, flying above the town here, as if they've been attracted here by the circumstances of it. So there are a few sort of sitting in trees and elsewise. Flying above. Yeah, that's mostly what you're hearing, that calling, every so often.
Is there some place they seem to be circling in particular, or they're just kind of spread out all over?
Spread out all over the place. Nothing in particular. You guys look in the center of the town. There's, a basket of fruit sort of fallen on the road. There's a cart left unattended at the front of a place of business, it looks like here. To the north, Parenth, you're looking at a pen that's, seems to have had some carnage to it. You see the corpses of a few dead pigs. Although there's a crack in the fence as if something broke its way in.
There's something attacked these animals, but I guess that makes sense if they've been sitting here for weeks.
As you guys get closer, though, you're able to sort of look across the fence. These low, sort of bodied creatures are beginning to be seen in your fields of vision. These much more grisly-looking hogs of a sort.
Oh
Looking like
god.
that.
Oh boy.
Okay, I first looked at it and my sleep-deprived mind thought it was a two-legged boar, and I was freaking out.
It is still a boar, basically.
It's still a boar, but still, it's... I don't
guys
like that art.
have a chance to do something here before they notice you, as they're seemingly tearing apart the corpses of the pigs that were once here.
Quick, Yalmus, use your anti-boar spray.
I'm gonna, in this time period, do a recall knowledge to see if I know what these things are.
Okay, that'd be a nature check.
Since this is happening concurrently, Yarmouth is doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Parent, you realize that these are deodons. They are pretty common animals. They're sort of like ill-tempered creatures, but these are bigger hogs, like wild boars, essentially, that are like the most advanced they could get in terms of how vicious and gnarly these creatures are. Yarmus, you pretty much come up with the same thing. And you imagine,
Gotcha.
if they notice you, they'll probably attack unless somebody thinks to do something beforehand, or you just walk away from them.
Scare him off or something, somebody. Parents hides
Oh, yeah.
behind giraffe.
I've taken on one boar. That's when I was less skilled. You think I could take on 4?
We can, as a group.
These are just wild animals. They don't seem to have done anything wrong. They're just snacking on prey, I suppose.
Yeah, we should probably just keep going. Honestly, remember those boars that we fought before and how they almost murdered us?
These guys go by, avoiding getting in their way, leaving behind that little hut there with its sagging roof. Go across and go past a few village houses here. You can knock on the doors of these, but they don't seem to have any much. But
There's
before-
things like fruits and animals that are like lying around unattended now, right? So is there a way to like maybe investigate how long exactly ago they started being left unattended?
Come from a crafting angle, sure. Deterioration.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Is that a should that be hidden?
It can be public.
Gotcha.
Not exactly recalling knowledge that you might have, but rather just trying to determine if you can figure this out. You'll know if you can't figure it out, right? So, Yarmus, looking at all of it, it lines up with about a month of completely just nobody taking care of anything. With a build-up of perhaps like the fronts of these wagons sort of in the dirt. May have been a few rainstorms since then, and some mud's being like covering them. Yeah, a month sounds like the timetable you're working with here.
Gotcha. 2 months ago, they stopped making contact, and then 1 month ago, this when they're gone from here.
2 months ago was last contact.
Gotcha.
So while the others have been knocking on the door, Prince is just gonna try to open the door
Alright.
to this place.
You open it up. It's
I'll
not
stay with
locked.
you.
So you find yourself walking into a small home space here.
There has to be
I wanna-
some sign somewhere that something happened.
Actually, no, I
Knock
will
on
spread
this
out a little
door.
bit.
As you guys walk into this house, roll me a perception check.
Parents will, because he
Or
is
parents,
the
yeah.
only one that stepped in.
Right, there's the
Giraffe,
houses are unlocked, and there's fruits on the streets, so it must have happened during the day, at least.
and for your aid, Nix, we'll finish up once you guys are finished looking through this place. Because I know you guys are super tired, but I want to finish up at something here. As you guys get in here, Parenth, you first, well, you realize that there's food set out. It's all rotting away. It looks like some rats have gotten to it. And strangely, it was like set for dinner. Left unattended, though. The chairs are sort of scooted back as if, well, maybe someone got up from them. There's some, yeah, like, it's almost as if people were just doing something normal until it all changed.
They abruptly got up, it looks like. They were sitting down for lunch or something. And maybe they were compelled to with magic, maybe, or maybe they all just decided to go on a vacation.
And as you guys look at this building as a whole, it's partially overhanging the riverbank here. And you saw at the back a wagon sitting at the loading dock with a pair of barrels on its bed. One of them sort of fallen away, though, and spilling its contents, sort of soiling the dirt. The sign above the front entrance, though, where Kiba is the sign of a smiling dwarf. With a keg in their sort of arms.
And I'll try opening the door.
You open it up, opens with a creak, into a large space here, filled with massive vats. And the smell of, well, stale ale.
That's gonna be some ripe ale.
Since it doesn't look like there's like any danger, and I started moving away from parent, etc., I switch it back to searching.
Sure, roll me perception checks in here. Just account for the rest of the building, too, just to make it easy.
Can I just pop open some more doors so we can
Yeah.
see?
No trouble there. Alright, as everyone's just searching, which is probably appropriate for this, you guys look around. Kiba, you look at that trapdoor, it's latched shut, locked. So, seems like maybe a storage space down there, you're not quite sure. But as you guys look around, it is actually Yarmos. As you look under the table here, where they seem to have been putting some bottles together, right? It seems like there's a flagstone that is not caulked into the ground like the rest of them.
Yarmos kneels down and tries to lift it up.
And you do find, well, you find barrels in the north. You don't find those barrels in here, but in here you do find some silver pieces hidden away and a recipe for the cheerful Delver Stout. Could be quite lucrative if you sold it to some other competition or something like that.
That sounds like a very immoral thing.
It's here.
We're not here to steal from these people, we're here to find them.
That's true.
But maybe copy down the recipe for our inn.
Besides, let's think of it this way. We do not wish to steal from Varnhold. However, if we cannot find the people, then perhaps their secrets must be carried on.
Secrets told with their coin.
Secrets
course.
such as recipes.
Oh well, it is
Be
bringing
ashamed.
more light
I'd
onto
be ashamed to let
things that
Varn
could be
die.
lost.
But with that being,
Yarmos
Mm.
does write it down. Make a copy.
yeah, so just take the item itself.
Gotcha.
With that being said, though, otherwise there's no signs of any person or any struggle in this brewery here. There are many more buildings that hold perhaps many more mysteries in the town of Varnhold here. as the main town is actually across the river here. But for the purpose of it, starting off your investigation here, it doesn't look good. No bodies, no blood, except the bodies and blood of animals that seem to have been perhaps unaffected by whatever occurred here in the vanishing of Varnhold. For now, though, we're going to end tonight's session, as I know a few of the players are struggling to keep up.
Thank you.
But yeah, those of you watching, I hope you had a very good time watching us, and I'm aiming to keep this going every single week, as we've mostly done, though there's been a few hiccups with that. Either way, this is one of my favorite sort of chapters in the AP, in fact, so I'm excited to see it go.
Seems like one full of low fortitude enemies too.
We'll see.
Oh.
But yeah, also, if you guys like the maps, yeah, hey, it appeared right above me. Go and see my Patreon. I made about 140 total maps at current. There's still more to do because even with the Foundry module coming out, they're only releasing up to level 10 on September 28th, I think, right? So I'm already past level 10, so there's still a use for people buying my Patreon as yet. And as well, actually, from their preview, they didn't do any supplemental stuff that I did. So they only remade stuff as well for the Foundry module. So, yeah, if you guys like the maps, go right ahead. I think this one as well, the Varnhold map, which I spent like a whole weekend doing for this village because it's such a, well, big thing, is... we'll have to see what they do with the Foundry version of this, because there's so many encounters, like these pigs, right? And this is okay to say because the players, it doesn't matter for them. Guess what they give you in the AP? They just give you a map of the town, like from a 500 feet height in the air, right? Like, it's just a town map rather than an encounter map like I made here. So I spent a whole weekend putting this together. Yeah, you can imagine. So, I hope you guys do enjoy what we have coming in the future here, and I hope that these players walk through all the buildings that I have painstakingly put together here. So,
Okay, I'll do that. I'll
I
walk
didn't
in
want
the
to,
traps
like,
for
wander
you.
too much. Yeah.
Don't worry, Corvus. I'll walk into your traps. I know how you feel.
yeah. But yeah, we'll see the rest of it next time. Thank you guys for watching. See you all later. Oh, wait, Kiba. Kiba's a streamer.
Oh yes, and I've been very active lately. Hold on. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I am Chris Kobold, the player of Kiba, and I am largely a retro streamer here on Twitch, streaming usually on Tuesdays and Wednesdays around 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time. And I've been working on Battletoads lately. It's been a blast. Come check it out sometime.
Alright, so, unless anybody else has any announcements to make, that'll be the end of our stream. See y'all later.
Have a
Have a
good
good
night.
one.
Take care.
So long.